Sam O'Reilly with the Fight Talk podcast. Myself and regular Richie Gray are joined by this. It's been a while. I don't even know. When we work it out? 5 months.
Should we call him the guest? Is he
the guest? Yeah, we've got this guest. He works for MTK. We're going to touch on a little bit about his role within MTK a bit later on. The ginger assassin himself, Craig Scott, is here.
Yes, I am back. Shout out Mickey Haye at ruining more careers than sexual abuse allegations. Fuck that 24 fight card.
We're going to touch on that later because I'm gutted I couldn't make it. It would have felt like it. I don't know. Listen, we weren't there, but maybe it was an epic show.
Maybe it was an epic show.
If we leave now, we can catch the last 25 fights.
That's a good intro. We haven't even just abused someone before really opening up and talking what we're gonna.
We'll go into more depth abusing him anyway.
That
so
was
don't
like
worry
the
about
stretching out. He started stretching out and warming up a minute ago for the podcast. So
yeah,
that was
it.
that was like a lap of warm-up lap.
I've had that in my head for a couple of days now. What I was going to say about Mickey Haye.
Did it go as well as you hoped?
It did. You laughed, which always makes it sound better. If you didn't laugh, it would be. Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me and I would have had a good laugh prepared?
Because it had to be natural.
Okay. Do you want to repeat it because it was that good, or was it just going to let it die?
We'll skip over it. What else could ruin careers? Ruining more careers than Spanish body shots.
Oh yeah, fair effort.
That's a good one.
It's a fair effort.
Ruining more careers than fighting Dwayne Cheeky Grant.
Oh, no? You guys, who is this guy? He comes on our podcast.
I feel like we should be more selective with the guests we have on.
Everybody knows. real recognise real.
I'll have you vet the guests in future, Richie. I'm very sorry about
Sorry,
this.
Richie, I'm only joking, mate.
No, you're not.
Yeah, let's talk about some actual boxing, I reckon.
Yeah.
Hold on. That was actual boxing when I lost.
I was talking about the Elliott show. Ultimate Boxer, Friday night.
So there's loads of boxing to get through, isn't there?
There is quite a lot, so we're not going to spend that. I mean, we're not that good, really. So we just kind of touch on things and pretend we know what we're talking about anyway. So
when I say cunt, you say cunt.
Big Narstie.
Big Narstie. What was that all about?
That was mental. That was fucking mental.
You see that, Rich?
No.
So Big Narstie, who is Narstie, which is the least gangster way to spell nasty.
With an R in it, yeah.
Big Narstie.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's from fucking Hampstead. Narstie. He was performing in between fights and during the quarterfinals, I think, as well.
It was after the second semi and before the final.
Right.
But they didn't televise the quarters.
That's mental.
But they televised Big Nasty calling everyone cunts.
So they televised Big Nasty telling one side of the audience to say BDL, and they all shout BDL. And then the second part, he goes, right, the other side of the audience, when I say cunt, you say cunt. Cunt on TV.
Live television.
On free television. And the audience are all like, well, there's like 3 pissed women with their tits hanging out in the front row, like, cunt! Just not realising how damaging they are to their own feminism. Yeah.
I mean, this is the sport that apologises when a trainer gets passionate and says, fucking hit him. They're letting Big Nasty call people cunts on it. It was great. It was epic viewing, mate. That's what every boxing show needs. Big Nasty shouting. I bet he was at Elliott's show as well. Probably he's booked. He's a regular now.
If he was at the Elliott show, it would brighten the show up. To be fair,
not much can make it more.
It would brighten the show up. It would brighten the show up
to make it worse.
It would brighten the show up, and he could be used as a better opponent for some of Elliott's fighters.
I think he could be fighting Big Baby Miller later. They're about the same way.
Ultimate Boxer, basically prize fighter.
So it's prize fighter. It's exactly what it is. Little bit different. There's a few things I liked about it. I'll be honest. Like I said it to you, right? They're all undefeated fighters, but take that out of it. They're all young. It was a small hall prize fighter. Do you know what I mean? You look at it, you go, the level them guys have fought at, it's a small hall prize fighter. And what it did do, because you've got 3 rounds, the more superior boxer is fucked. Because if you're the best boxer in the fight, what does the other guy do? He just mauls you and runs you down for two rounds or 3 rounds.
Well, 2 and then take a rest for a round.
This is it. So Isaac McLeod, who was the biggest favourite, got bombed out of there by a guy that has had 5 white collar fights and then turned pro. Like it doesn't. I guess there was 16 grand prize fund for the winner. Hopefully they get paid. By the way.
Yeah. Shout out to
Red Corner.
Last man standing.
Yeah.
Embarrassment.
Ridiculous. But listen, if it's put them on television, how many people watched? I don't know. It was in a 10 or 11,000 capacity arena with maybe 2,000 or 3,000 tickets sold.
Yeah.
Did it do it? The bizarre thing is you got Ricky Hatton.
All selling tickets.
They were selling tickets, yeah.
But it's a massive arena though.
It's
Rich.
a big arena. Like,
You've only got 6 fighters on the card or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Even
eight
if they all
fighters.
do 400 tickets each, it's only 2.5 It's only 2,500.
Oh, they didn't do no fill-ins whatsoever.
Eight fighters. That's it. I don't believe there was any other fights. As far as I'm aware, someone might tell me I'm wrong, but I believe it was just all those fights for that tournament.
Yeah.
And you've got it. Kugan Cassius and Michelle Joy Phelps were there as like presenters and backstage and stuff. You have Ricky Hatton being the person that gave out the prestigious gold robe, which looked like it was a bit of Baker for you put on your fucking turkey at Christmas.
That looked like something my gran would have wore to try and seduce my granddad back in the 70s.
Do you know what artist they should bring back? Contender.
Contender.
They are bringing that back.
They are bringing that back.
Yeah,
apparently so.
Yep.
Maybe they should do that.
Do you remember Peter Manfredo?
Peter
The
Manfredo,
Latin Snake. Who was that? Who was that? Was that
Sergio Mora.
That was Sergio Mora.
Did he win it?
Yeah, he won. Manfredo ended up fighting Calzaghe, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, in fucking in Cardiff, I believe. But yeah, it was Ultimate Boxer. It was basically. Listen, you got Hatton and Malignaggi, and you throw money at it. I want to know who their backers are. It's a bit strange. You look on BoxRec, and the official promoter is Carl Greaves. I like Carl Greaves. Got a lot of time for him. But you look through all these people that have thrown at it. Charlie Sloth, the Radio 1 DJ, was there, like linked to it. I understand what they're doing, because if you think of the format, there has to be a break between fights and a bigger break between the second semi and the final, so you get a well-established, well-known act to come out and scream obscenities at the crowd. It makes perfect sense, but imagine that production meeting today or tomorrow morning. So how did the show go, apart from Big Narstie abusing everybody?
But the thing is...
Was that planned?
No.
Was that planned?
I mean, anyone who's ever seen Big Narstie, yeah,
right, no one's watching. There's only 2,000 people here. What can we do to get people to tune in?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Just say what you want, mate. Go and say.
Literally, you need to go out there and rip a hole in everyone so people can switch over and see what's going on.
The thing is, when you have shows on there that are on mainstream television and you maybe don't have a large audience in attendance, I can see why more boxing shows are trying to do this. So you have that This Is Boxing thing, which is like a fusion of boxing and
But that's
crime.
white collar, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying generally the idea is that you bring a music crowd or people that are attached to a style of music and you fuse them with boxing. So you kind of, even if you only bring 100 or 200 people into an arena of 2,500 because they like music or they like Big Narstie, Narstie, I'm going to stop saying that. It's still 200 people who have eyes on the sport who might then come back and watch it again without Big Narstie. So I see why they're trying to fuse music with boxing a little bit, but just get somebody better. Like, he's not very good.
Well, David Haye got Fat Man Scoop when he fought Arnold the Cobra.
I'm alright with that.
Fat Man Scoop was in. At least it was someone you knew. Listen, Big Narstie is what he is, isn't he? He's
not a very good rapper though.
I don't know what he is. He's more of a comedy guy nowadays, isn't he? He's more of a
strange.
Very strange, but there's some money behind it. There's definitely money somewhere to get the Hatton and the Malinaggis and the people that they've got. But for small hall fighters, I just don't know. I don't know where it goes. Maybe some fighters would have looked at that and gone, yeah, I'd like to get involved in that. Maybe 16 grand prize fund for a small hall fighter ain't bad, is it?
Here's my question to Rich. We talk about obviously the better boxers at a disadvantage because it's only 3 rounds and you've got to fight multiple fights, so you want to go in and bomb people out. Can you use that as an excuse if you're aware of that the whole time? So if you're a boxer who likes to settle into your work over 6 rounds or 8 rounds, you're going into that tournament knowing that you can't do that. So can we use that as a crutch and an excuse, or do you have to say, Isaac McLeod?
You should have known.
That's what I mean. You have to expect that.
You put your name on the line. You decided to take that. You should have adjusted your style to suit the platform. If I'm doing a 4-round fight, I'm not fighting the same as I do if I'm in a 12-round fight. You've got. I mean, I suppose if they make it to the finals, maybe they've saved enough for the finals. But you've got to get there first. So getting it right.
Even the finals only 3 rounds.
But what I mean is, by the time you get to the finals, you might have done 9 rounds. It'll be round 7, 8, and 9. So if you are one that settles into it, if you can just nick the first couple of rounds, the first couple of fights, then you're still fairly fresh for the finals.
Yeah.
Whereas the boys that are going to go in there and bomb people out, steaming in at them, they might be knackered by the finals.
Yeah.
So if they can just nick the first ones, it could work for them. But they need to go in there knowing that it's only 3 rounds, amateur style, if you like.
Yeah. That's when you look at it and you think, this isn't suited for everyone. So, in a way, it could make for real fan-friendly fucking wars, couldn't it? You know what I mean? If all the boys going in know, let's just go to war, then it can be, and everyone's on a level playing field at that point. Maybe because it was the first one, they thought something might be different. I don't know. You look at Isaac McLeod and you see where the career he's had. Right, he hasn't been a massive name, but it wasn't long ago he was training with the Britain squad at some point and stuff, and he's getting smashed out by a white collar boy. Like, that doesn't happen in any other format, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? So maybe it was bad management to take that to enter the tournament. I don't know, but It won't be for everyone, this tournament.
It's a strange one with Isaac McLeod because he's trained by our mate Don, big Don Al Smith. Shout out Don, great pads man, great trainer. But he's just upped and moved his whole career from wherever he was based in the Midlands or up north to London, and he's on a three-year management deal now with Peter Sims. Fuck, that's a hard one, isn't it? That's your first outing. You get blasted out on national TV
in a very good knockout.
It was two pretty heavy knockdowns, wasn't it, as well? So he's obviously got a lot of rebuilding to do, and it's interesting to see how they'll do that. But we got a question from Martin, New Age Boxing Podcast, who are having their second live podcast on July 26th.
Bullshit, mate.
Yeah, Sam can't go. It's quite selfish of them actually putting it on that day.
Well, I'm Richie, to be honest.
You not go either?
No, you don't know. No, listen, yeah. I ain't been abroad for 4 years. Nothing ever happens in my life. I'm going abroad. These fuckers booked the New Age Boxing Live. He decides to get married. I mean, it's selfish, mate. I'll be honest with you. I'm not impressed with either of them. I think they should either both move the venue to Spain, where I'll be. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know the thing is with Sam? He's been given a lot of options because I've had 2 stag do's, which he's not coming on, and 2 weddings, which he's dodged.
True.
I haven't dodged them.
True. I've dodged. Like, this is an excuse. He'll be like, I think I'm.
The truth be told, I can't bear to see you with someone else. Is the truth.
He doesn't see it to me all the time.
just to clarify, 2 weddings. I'm marrying 2 different people as well. Sam's not one of them.
New Age Boxing live show 26th of July. If you can get down there, fantastic.
The first one was amazing.
Brilliant, really good night. Bringing people together, and that's something they always talk about. Is people who maybe interact on Twitter or Facebook or whatever else, actually getting in person and having a beer and having a chat with like-minded individuals. So
well, it was superb. You remember that guy Shane?
Great guy.
He's just on his own on Twitter. He doesn't really have any mates who follow boxing. We met him at their live show, and then we're drinking together in Manchester for the Grove Jew Bank because he knew us in it. It's brilliant. You imagine being the only one of your mates who likes boxing, but you can't go to shows. It can be quite like martial arts in general, but boxing as well. It's quite a cliquey environment, right? Yeah.
So even if there's a group of 10 people who love boxing, they might not just let you involve yourself in their chat.
If you're one geezer who's going to box on your own, you're not going to walk in a group of 10 boys and involve yourself. So no, they do good bits for that. They're really good at getting everyone involved. And
so get down to that show, definitely. The question from Martin was, were the Ultimate Boxer right to broadcast Big Narstie's swear-a-thon? Fucking hell. Big Narstie's swear-a-thon, or should they have televised the quarterfinals instead?
You'd imagine so, wouldn't you?
Why would they not televise the quarterfinals?
TV time. So they had 2 hours on 5 Spike. That's a real channel, you know. I didn't know it was real. 5 Spike. It's a.
So they do like cyclone warm-ups and stuff, like cyclone undercards, isn't it?
But the quarterfinals were on Unilads on Facebook, I believe.
Yeah.
Really?
So, I believe so. Yeah. So that's been done before. Haymaker's first 2 shows had them on Sport Bible or.
Yeah.
So it's becoming a more and more frequent occurrence. You look at a lot of Matchroom undercards will be on their Matchroom Facebook page. So I'd imagine it would be TV purposes where they couldn't fit them all in. They looked at the times of each fight and gone, we don't have enough TV time to get everything in, so we just start with the semis. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Most times I start with a semi. And then just build from there.
Fair effort.
Yeah,
they were never right to put Big Narstie live on television. That's the answer.
It comes down to what Rich said though. Was that planned? And I guess you can't really answer the question unless you know the motives, right? So, were they right to do that? No, if they knew he was going to drop a C-bomb.
Well, I spoke to Coogan last night briefly. I said, a bit weird seeing you in front of the camera last night, or suited. And he was like, yeah. He went, oh, Big Narstie didn't go down too well.
Yeah.
But you don't know if he's talking about you don't know. But I can't imagine for their first event having a grime artist saying cunt all over television and just talking general foof. He just ended up talking nonsense.
That's what he does, man.
It's what he does, but does that work on live telly when you're just a build up to a pro? I don't know. Who knows where their head was at? I was fucking mental.
Very strange.
Very odd. So no, they weren't right to do it, but I'd imagine it was television.
I don't think we'll see it again.
No?
Do you think the boxing fans will even like it?
Well, them 3 pissed up birds on camera screaming it with them looked like they enjoyed it, but they would have enjoyed anything at that point, I guess. Beer played a massive point.
They would have enjoyed the semis.
There's some sort of saying of a best audience is a drunk audience and all that.
Sweet Caroline, the proof is in the pudding, mate.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, I think I'll do it again.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I
don't think the money's there, man.
I don't know. I have no clue who's bankrolling it.
I think they'll do the platform again. I think they do it different.
Yeah, I think they'll learn from it. Do you need to be paying Malignaggi, Hatton, Coldwell, Cassius, Michelle Joy Phelps? All these people were probably getting paid as much as some of the undercard fighters, you know, or
if not more.
If not more. And do you need to do that? Does it need to be so glamorised when you?
I don't know a lot about it, but is it not beyond the realms of possibility that Ricky Hatton and Paulie Malignaggi were part of the setup?
They were brought in by. So basically, I know.
They were brought in. They wasn't. They didn't sit down and go, right, let's do this.
I don't believe this is their brainchild. No.
I know a little bit about it. So basically, it was funded by this young guy who was at the original presser when they launched it, and he does it with his company. I can't remember his name offhand, but he's got interviews on IFL, and he is behind Unilad, and he's behind other bits and pieces that he's set up with people that he knows. It's all that sort of hipster media, Unilad and social media type stuff, and it's their idea, so it's them that pushed it. They brought on board all these other people and had them all buy into their idea.
Well, in the first presser, they had Crawler there, they had Hatton, they had Malignaggi, they had Charlie Sloth. They had I mean, I don't know how much they spent on the press conference at first. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's called Ben something. I can't remember, Ben Day or something. I can't remember what his name is, but it's him and his company or his affiliates.
I don't know if it's Ben Day.
Ben Day's a fighter, isn't he?
Is Ben Day a fighter?
I don't know who is Ben Day.
Must be a fucking shite fighter then if I don't know who he is. Yeah, but I don't know, man. I don't know if we talk about how empty the arena was. There's no way they made money last night.
No chance.
No way they made money.
No chance.
So yeah, it's interesting, but I think the premise is good. The premise works. It'll always work. But fighters have to adapt their style, like Rich said as well, and they have to be aware that people are going to come for a bit of gunslinging. Should never have been there.
Yeah. It is recording, but we're gonna probably mumble for as much as we're gonna talk about this show. The Dennis Hobson show Friday night, which ended up being headlined by Liam Cameron defending his middleweight Commonwealth title. That's right, isn't it?
Yep.
Against Nick Gemman, which was a short notice fight.
No, wasn't a Commonwealth fight. Nick didn't make weight.
Oh, you're right. He didn't make weight.
And it was an eliminator, if you like.
Oh, look at
out of nowhere!
Look at Richie Craig.
Richie Craig dropping facts like a fucking. I was just gonna say like an MTK fighter getting dropped, or Georgie Bacon getting dropped, but nah. We'll go.
Distasteful, man. That's out of order.
We'll go there, man. It's alright. I'm in the mood. Craig's in the mood. The Stellas are out. It's 11 in the morning.
Yeah, boy.
Fuck it.
We're back.
Yeah, I saw the shot. I saw the knockout. Was there anything different expected? Is the question.
Does anyone care? Does anyone care about the fighters that are on those? I don't mean that. Like, does anyone care? Obviously, people care and they've got fans, but
you got no fans.
You ain't got no fans. If you want some, I'll give it you.
We should get him on one day. The Wilson Raider.
That'd be good. Does anyone care about the people on those shows, or like me? I'm just confused about the whole setup, man. I'm confused about Hobson. I'm confused about how it's on TV. I'm confused about how they make money, how they get. The whole thing is just weird. It seems like a really weird setup to me, and I don't really know how it's sustainable. I don't know how.
Wasn't busy either. I see a video. I think someone live streamed of Gemman's his lot, and it wasn't busy there, was it?
I didn't. I'll be honest. I didn't look at the crowd. It
was a ring walk that someone done, and it was like there was more judges than supporters.
There was more. It was like the Ultimate Boxer. There was more grime artists than fucking supporters. So I don't know. It feels. Do you dilute? We spoke about dilution in the marketplace, yeah, but the amount of shows clashing and stuff, and now they're televising more and more fights up and down the country on one platform or another. Whether it's Boxing Social showing a Steffi Ball show, you know, at least that was a British title fight, the one a couple of weeks back. I can't remember who it was now. Not Lee Appleyard. I'm talking bollocks, but whatever. What I'm saying is, there's more and more fights being put on different platforms all up and down the country. I believe they're only for the hardcores. I don't think any casual will tune in and watch Nick Gemman against Liam Cameron in the.
Yeah.
They're taking selfies for you. Fucking. It's that long. He wants to remember this moment.
I know what you're saying, but there was a time where there was no boxing on TV, not so long ago, or not very limited boxing, and everyone, all the boxing fans, we need more boxing. It's not fair to say, now you're putting anything on TV.
But do you damage it though? Do you damage people's interest in televised boxing by putting shit on?
Some people just ain't going to watch it. When I was younger and I'm following boxing and there was the odd thing on TV, I'd just stick it on. But people that are not going to only watch massive fights ain't going to do it. But someone like, if I'm sitting home and there's nothing on, I will put something like that on. So if they've got to expect not to get big views, but they might get some views. But I don't think it's bad for boxing, because everyone will still tune in when there's a big fight. When their friends fight, and they will still go. That's not going to go. I'm not going to go watch Rich fight this week because I watched Nick yesterday.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
Like the football, it's not just people just watch what they like to watch, and the other people, you know, if they're going to put on shows with no views, it's entirely up to them.
It's on them.
They're going to know that they're not going to get many views by what they're putting on.
The production value, I don't know what it costs to put on a show on television or what it costs to put a show on to be able to bring it to a live stream. Do you know what I mean? It costs a bit. There's a bit of production in it, etc. But I mean, that one was shown on, what's it called? It's called Free Sports, right?
Free Sports, yeah.
Free Sports. So they have cameras there. They'll have a commentator.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of money in it.
Pay money.
He had the word commentator and piped up.
I thought you were talking about me. I'm sorry.
MTK's finest.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it sustainable? Is a question. Do they make money? Is a completely different question. Does anyone care about the fighters on it? Someone cares, don't they? Up there, maybe we're just.
But they link up. So they link up with Steffi Bull a lot, do they not? Like they kind of try and work with.
I don't know
Steffi
what
Bull
shows have been put on Free Sports. I think at this point it's just Hobson, no? Or has there been a different?
No, but they had planned to put a few matchups with some Steffi Bull
Oh,
fighters.
promotionally wise, yeah.
But I think when you look at the shows that Steffi Bull puts on, Steffi Bull's probably better suited to a TV platform.
Mm-hmm.
You look at his contests that he puts on; they're pretty good. Josh Whale, British champion. It's tricky. Robbie Barrett was a British champion, Steffi Bull fighter.
Yeah.
So he's got a couple of decent fighters as well. So it's interesting to see how it progresses. But for me, the Hobson setup is it's a little bit strange. I don't really know where it goes, to be honest.
Yeah.
But free sports is a good idea. I'm not against free boxing on TV. Like Rich said, it's good. If it's shit, my worry is that you can put people off by over diluting it. But I guess what Richie says is right. If people like boxing, people want to watch boxing, it's never been a better time for it now. It's everywhere. Like back in the day when Audley Harrison was on BBC,
That's the
He
time.
was
That's
on
the time
ITV,
I was thinking of.
all them ones, and you had all them different options, and you don't always have to pay for it. Now some people are limited because they have to pay for these channels, and it's nice to not have to do that. So
You can't tell me the boxing now is worse than watching Audley Harrison for free on TV.
fucking hell.
Come on.
And you got paid a fortune as well.
Yeah, a massive contract.
You're there to make money.
But Cameron got the win, knocked out Gemmin in the second round, I think.
Yes, second round. Nice shot, nice straight shot, straight right, opened up with a jab, popped the straight right through really quick, and that was all she wrote.
Interesting to see who he fights from now. I don't think he's going to be high on people's list of taking. I mean, he's a very good fighter.
Yep.
He's a very good fighter, and he's a tough fight. I don't know if it's the kind of fight you want if there's no big money in it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's the problem he faces in it, is that if they can't bankroll opponents, who does he fight? Mm-hmm. If they can't bankroll it through the TV platform, who does he fight then?
I'll fight him if he chips in for my wedding.
I find it similar to Luke Watkins, the cruiserweight Commonwealth title. He's done by Paddy Fitzpatrick.
Yep.
And you can't continue to bankroll him having opponents like that Stafford that he beat last time. Do you know what I mean? It's just, they're knockover jobs, and he's now looks like he's going to fight a Coley. It's where the big money is. You're probably going to end up seeing Liam Cameron fight an Anthony Fowler, maybe. No, Anthony Fowler's a light middle.
You'd beat Anthony Fowler if you fought.
Who's a middleweight at Matchroom? Felix Cash. Bit too soon for him.
Big middleweight, he's super.
No, he's middle.
He's big.
Could he fight for the Commonwealth in the next 2 or 3 fights? Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I think you'll only see Cameron get those big fights on the big platforms now. I don't think you'll see many good opponents coming to his backyard.
But then if you lose Cameron from those shows, who's your pool?
I have no clue.
That's the thing. It's hard. It's hard. But yeah, shout out to them. They're always making the effort, and they're trying to do the best for the fighters.
100%.
I just don't know how long. I don't know how long it'll last.
100%. MTK we're going to come to next because we were all there. I'm starting.
Here we go. Here we go. Let me put my feet up here.
Right.
MTK.
MTK. I know it stretches.
I won't need to do much talking.
You're just going to get ripped, okay? So let's start it off. The reason I said MTK's Craig Scott is last night was his first shift for MTK. He was the social media man. All those cringy Instagram stories were courtesy of our mate Craig Scott.
Hashtag fair news.
Hashtag fair news. All the celebrities in the place, and by celebrities I mean X on the Beach stars that were put on Instagram. Great to have this guy. I don't know who he was.
Love Island, mate.
Oh, sorry,
Love Island.
Great to have Love Island such and such in the building. That was all done by Craig Scott. A couple of emojis dropped in there. They were amazing. This fight is fire. They weren't. No, stop it. I mean, it was really bad, Craig.
Oh.
I love this guy to bits, and I looked at him and the work he was doing. He was running around. He was backstage. He had his MTK t-shirt on. He had a Fair News banner around his neck. he was amazing, mate. He was MTK, the epitome of MTK. It was a beautiful thing to see. Him and Coogan had a big cuddle when they saw each other. Him and Lee Eaton are now best friends. It's crazy. He's literally MTK. You go through the Instagram story. It was. Listen, let me stop ripping you. It was good work. You did good. And I looked at your face and thought, you're probably the best boxing writer, in my opinion, up there in the country with about 3 or 4.
Thanks.
Don't say thanks.
Thanks.
Because you sold your soul. I'm never reading one more article you write. Your opinion is now null and void because you #papped a member of Love Island. Oh,
listen,
mate.
For all them true fans tuning in, you're welcome. No, listen, let me just touch on this briefly because shout out to MTK. You were just watching the videos.
No, I'm laughing. The first thing you say is shout out MTK.
What the fucking do? Shout out MTK.
Oh God.
Loads of people that I know submitted all. They were looking for freelance people to do stuff. Loads of people submitted. Yeah, I want to do stuff. And the guy got back to me. Read a bit of my work and got back to me and said, "Yeah, we'd like you to come do stuff." So first of all, much respect for reading some stuff and recognising it, man. That's always appreciated. I went down there last night. Didn't really know what I was doing. It's not really my thing. Like, running a social media is not really my thing. So I write interviews, or I write articles, or I write all these weird stories about boxers. And going down there, it was totally different for me to come out my comfort zone and try and run an Instagram account or run a Twitter account or do an Instagram story with hashtags and locations and all that stuff. It's not something I do on my own Instagram. Like Richie Craig does it. He's cycling through fucking London or something like that. He does a wee story on his Instagram. I don't really do that. So I'll just sit and watching it now. Those ones are alright. It gets cringier.
It does get cringier
when I start using emojis. Oh fucking hell! But
oh dear, what does that say?
Just try and find some emojis.
It's just not really me, man.
Mixing with the slick footwork, little interviews. Listen, I'm going to be honest.
You didn't do a bad job.
Big shots. Fire emoji.
Fire emoji.
Listen, shout out to Ben Smith, who I gave a fire emoji to.
Yep.
Who else did I give emojis to? Dan Aziz smashing pads.
Oh, Dan Aziz deserves all the emojis.
Oh look, I also put at the top, it's about to go down. I was just hyping the atmosphere, mate.
I mean, listen.
Oh, an upset.
Oh, look at that face.
Emoji's well good.
Look at the emoji. What's
Where
that?
did you get that?
Is that an
emoji?
angry chicken?
Listen, that's just
Because his name's Bacon. That should have been a pig.
That's just instinctive stuff. Those emojis.
That was great.
But it was a lot of work, man. I think it was a lot more work than I thought it would be. So anybody that does that for shows, I have to kind of tip my hat and go, that's quite a lot of graft running about.
I'll be honest, you were running about. Bearing in mind you'd done a day's fucking work in your bank.
Yeah.
And then went straight to MTK.
Yeah.
Couldn't have one beer because you were in work mode.
That was the hardest part. That was the hardest
Have
part.
you ever been boxing before and not had one drink?
No, it was shit.
And then you're in changing rooms and little tidbits. Listen, you did what a good social media man does, and you cringed the place out. It's what their job, isn't it?
Boxing glove emoji coming out now.
Boxing glove emoji.
Love that.
What's the caption?
Mitchell Frierson looking sharp on his pro debut.
He was looking sharp.
Glove emoji.
Boxing glove emoji. So I don't know if I'll do it again. I think I said to you earlier on, Sam, I'll do it again if it was a bigger show. Like if they had a show where Frampton was doing it and they had to get someone to come and do it, I would definitely go and do it again.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard. It's just.
How can we not talk about this emoji? Let's go back.
So MT Global's own O'Hara Davis is in the building. 2 emojis. Here we get a fire emoji. Wait, they're the Love Island people. Wait, go back. So one of them is the fire emoji, and the other one is what? How do you describe that emoji?
The smarmy face.
The
emoji.
Smarmy face.
We've got OG. Oh God.
Listen. I still feel the same way about Odie this morning.
If I message you from now on, I'm gonna have to send like half the message emoji.
Or just screenshot all of them and only talk to him in his own captions from now on.
You know the bad thing was I started off doing no emojis because I fucking hate them, man. And the guy came up and he's like that. Hey mate, just feel free to do a couple of emojis. Like I was scared to do them. Like I was worried I was being too emoji expressive.
Oh, it's very
I was
obtuse.
like, thanks very much, mate. Appreciate that. Then I just started dropping emojis.
Brilliant.
everywhere.
Where's that other one? Last one we're going to talk about. This is a bit mean. Hope Camilla and Jamie are in, I don't know who these people are.
Wow.
Did you say they're Love Island people?
Educate yourself, mate.
Yeah.
Love
Camilla
Island.
and Jamie are enjoying the action, and it's a couple, and it's the big smiling emoji.
Well, they look really happy.
Brilliant. Fair effort, mate. I mean, you run around like a blue ass fly. You did put the graft in. You were running around. You looked the part.
I didn't look the part. I was wearing a Lloyd's Bank uniform.
Well, but at least you didn't put your Fight Talk t-shirt on. That wouldn't have worked.
True. That's true. But anyway, let's talk about the box. Are you done?
Did you see any of the
Are
boxes?
you finished? Are you done?
I mean, you watched it. You watched it all through your phone.
Anything else?
Yeah, a little bit more. Wait. So you would literally my phone. So you killed your own battery. Did you know this?
Oh, he had to switch phones.
Yeah, you had to use my phone.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So-
So that's why.
So he comes over to me. Sorry, mate. Can I nick your fucking
Sorry,
phone?
mate.
I was like, what's happened to yours? I've not got a charger. So he nicked my phone and he's running round. I'm fucking hell. But listen, it was an opportunity. You took it. You're in the door now. You got Fair News as your profile pic. You got a little circle.
Proudly sponsored by MCK Global.
You're not the first person to do that.
Yeah. Fuck Umar Ahmed as well.
Oh,
UE 97.
oh, he's
Get
fucking.
your fucking t-shirt off. Take an MTK t-shirt off and let's see a little pigeon body.
I don't dislike Umar. He's alright.
Nah, he is alright. Shout out. Nah, it's too late. I
It's
fucked
too
it.
late. You've ruined it.
I fucked it.
Shout out Umar. Hashtag proudly sponsored by IFL and MTK and all that game. Let's talk about a couple of the fights because there was a few fights that, if I'm going to be honest, these guys shouldn't be pro boxers. They can sell tickets so they're on the card. I don't know if Lee still listens to this, and if he does, I probably won't be at the next show.
Jesus.
But there's some boys on that card that would have been suited to a white collar, and do you know what? Yeah, that's that. I'll stand by that. There's about 4 guys that, as you watch them, you think, sorry, mate, you ain't got it.
You wouldn't say their names out loud. You wouldn't do it.
Well, I wouldn't say Khan Hawes.
Ooh!
You're an animal. You're an animal.
Who was the other one? Georgie Bacon.
He's not even on the Stellars, it's me. Jesus
No,
Christ.
because you know what? Maybe it's insulting, and maybe they'll get better, and maybe they'll see me and slap the shit out of me.
Probably not.
But
Don't know. We wrestled once.
Georgie Bacon got beat badly off a journeyman last
got
night.
David
right?
Christ.
By Kesler.
But we saw it coming, and that's even worse. It wasn't an out of the blue shot that ruined him. He was getting tagged, and then it just was too much.
My question is, who made that match? Because that guy was 2-0 going into that with 1 knockout against English fighters.
Was he?
Can I tell you a little bit of insider information?
Oh, look, MTK's coming out.
Hashtag fair news. I was backstage, obviously, filming people doing pads and talking to people and whatever else. And I heard, like, Georgie Bacon was in the back, warming up for the fight, and doing bits and pieces on the pads, and having like a conversation with his trainer. And I don't remember exactly what he said, but the vibe that I got was he seemed very nervous. And I swear at one point, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. I swear at one point he said, "I really just don't want to lose this one in record." I'm pretty sure I heard him say that. So when I came out and seen him getting tagged with those big shots and getting that David Price slump when you're still standing up, that was the first thing that went in my head was, oh, he was talking about how he seemed kind of nervous. He was trying to keep that winning record.
Yeah.
So it seemed to me before the fight, he kind of already knew he was in a bit of danger anyway. So I don't know.
There's also another guy on the card I want to mention if I'm going to talk about fighters that I think are dreadful. Sam Stokes, right? Now, I know a little bit of backstory. I don't know. He might be a nice man, right?
Was that the guy with the green shots?
No, he's the guy that came off a suspension for biting his journeyman opponent
About biting.
You did bite me last week after the
Tapped
podcast.
out of a boxing match.
I'm not going to do this every time,
Tapped
Rich.
out of a boxing match.
Didn't tap out of a boxing match. We're not going to play this game. I'm not going to get... We're ruining Craig right now.
Move on.
Yeah. Sam Stokes, and he just doesn't have any boxing ability. You watch him and there's no jab, and he just swings wildly. And I don't know where these men go. Can you continue to put guys like this on cards who are never ever ever going to step up? And I know for a fact Sam Stokes will never ever step up in his opposition.
Do they sell tickets though? Does a guy like Sam Stokes sell tickets?
I don't know if he does now, but he used to sell a good ticket.
Before he...
I don't
got
know about now. I
suspended.
don't know what I can't really remember what the atmosphere was like yesterday. I was out the back talking to the boys at the time, but at one point he could do a few hundred.
Oh, there's your answer then.
Well, there you go. He'll continue to be on them, I guess, while he can sell some level of ticket. But his opponent will never step up.
Most of his background is unlicensed, and so was his opponent. Funny enough,
Yeah.
his
He
opponent.
had a
boxed.
great moustache though. He looked like
Was that guy?
he looked like a 1940s
Do you know what
weightlifter.
He reminded me of, what was his name? He used to have the ringmaster, Ollie Pinnock. Do you remember him?
No.
No.
He was a Goodwin fighter, I think, and he used to have literally that was his logo. Was the moustache? That was his logo.
Love that shit. Louis got one now. Louis Van Pooch, I mean, he's got one now.
That's a thing.
He's sporting one.
It's
What a
coming
guy.
back. It's in.
Let's look at some of the positives from that card because it wasn't all shite.
Dan Aziz is a beast.
Dan Aziz is a scary motherfucker.
Dan Aziz. We knew that anyway.
Oh, we knew that.
I said to you I was going to call him out, didn't I? But then I see him fight and I thought, nah. Don't fancy
He's
that.
coming on the next podcast, so he's
Yeah,
going to
love
be
that.
here with us in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We might invite Craig along as well. See how
Another guest.
another
Two
guest.
guests. Two guest kind of day.
Yeah, it'll be one of
I
those
might be
days.
doing a bit of work for MTK that day. So.
Dan Aziz, scary man. Didn't listen. You look at his opponent. It was always going to go the way it went, but he never for a second got out of first gear. You know, like any time he could have turned that tap on and took out Harrison, and he was just tapping him. He was doing angles. He was working technique. He ended up splitting Harrison's eye wide open with I think
Doesn't
it
get
was
stopped often, that guy, either.
no, it was a dirty little right hook I think around the guard. It was beautiful, man. He's technical. What about when he's actually trying to hurt people?
Yeah, because then you can see him. There was times when he was putting it on that boy, and he physically had to stop himself,
Yep.
take a few steps back, reset, because he could have blasted that guy out in 30 seconds.
Easy.
But it's not his.
Easy.
Let's make everybody aware, as he mentioned in your interview, Sam. That wasn't the guy he was always scheduled to fight. So let's shed a bit of light on how tough it was to get him a fight. He was supposed to fight a guy. One guy pulled out 2 days before. Then he got a replacement. Then that guy pulled out. So that was like his third choice of opponent. So it's not. Dan doesn't give a fuck. Dan will fight whoever they put him in with, man. He wants tests and he wants challenges. That guy, fair play to him. He stepped in to fight a guy like Dan Aziz. I'm not doing that.
I said it to you earlier. If I'm a journeyman, if I'm an away fighter, and I look at who I could fight to pick up my whatever they get, $1,000, 1,200. If I'm fighting a Dan Aziz, I'm pretty sure I'm either going to get cut or I'm going to get hurt or stopped, and I'm not fighting again for at least a month. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. And that's where the problem you're going to have with Dan Aziz. I said it to him in the interview.
Dan's not going to fight a lot of journeymen anyway. I don't think he's a big
he
ticket
can't.
seller. He's not a big ticket seller, so he's not going to be able to, for lack of a better word, afford to fight
Yeah, no, I understand
journeymen.
what
So
you're
he's
saying.
going to have to fight contenders, which is a good thing for Dan.
Yeah, it is. He needs them tests. He doesn't want to rush. He wants to do his apprenticeship, but his apprenticeship will be a lot shorter than a lot of other people's. You're right, but
no, that's a good thing.
it will be a good thing for Dan. I think the southern area, at light heavy, could be some fucking fights.
Who's the champ now?
Well, Yard gave it up. after
Conroy.
the-
Is it Conroy?
No, it's English.
Ah.
So Jordan Joseph lost. It might be vacant now.
Do you know what came up yesterday?
It might
Charlie
be vacant.
Duffield is the same weight as Dan.
Mhm.
One day down the line,
That's a good fight.
It's a good fight. Charlie
Charlie's
Duffield fought last night.
enormous.
He's big. He's a big
He's
boy.
enormous.
He is in tremendous shape as well.
And he
You
looked
look at him.
phenomenal shape last night. Dan's not as big.
Yeah.
He's probably broader.
think he's
Dan,
a-
yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
And I
that's what
think Dan's maybe a better technical boxer.
Mhm.
I like
I don't know.
I like what Charlie done yesterday. Charlie was pressing. He was relentless, man. He was just
I like yeah.
But he got caught a couple of times with stupid shots, and I know
He
everybody does.
He's been knocked out badly as well, hasn't he? He took a bad knockout where his eye was very, very bad. Charlie Duffield. You recall talking about 18 months ago?
Yeah.
Long time ago, but
Had one fight since.
yeah.
And that was 11 months ago.
That was a while ago.
Well, yeah, who knows? I mean, listen, hopefully he can get a bit of momentum behind him, Charlie Duffield. Good fighter, lovely boy as well. I mean, met him afterwards. But
Nice guy.
you'll know all the MTK boys now, obviously. You give him a bell today, check on them all. Jack Healy back in there, your gym mate. Long time out, 18 months out of the ring.
Yeah, he's not a fan of Fight Talk right now because you slipped his interview.
I didn't slip him. Why would I ever slip Jack? Jack didn't... I don't know where he was.
Say something nice about Jack now for everyone. For Jack.
He's got lovely hair. Jack's got lovely hair. I watched Jack. I was very happy he got his win. I saw him watching ID, and after the ID fight, I went to interview ID. I was behind him, and I saw Al ripping ID.
Yeah.
Quite aggressively. His coach was a bit upset with one or two things ID done in the fight, so I turned around and walked away. I wasn't getting involved. I was not getting Alec Wilkie's. So I didn't see Jack at that moment.
You don't need Alec Wilkie tearing your face off.
No, you don't. So I left, and I was still floating about, and Jack disappeared. So Jack, I will come and see you soon, mate. All right, I promise you.
We'll get him down the gym for some sparring, Jack.
Yeah, no biting though, not like bitch movements like Richie
No
Craig.
tapping out of a boxing match, though.
ID Hill, how many times do I say it? I love ID Hill. Will take 50-50s all day long. He fought Sean Craig last night. Craig, how do you pronounce it?
Cray. Yeah, Sean Cray, who is also a lovely guy, by the way. Spoke to him a little bit, really nice guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, he's not my mate, so I'm ID. Do you know what I mean? Fucking look at him already. Look,
You know what I'm saying?
he's actually a lovely guy.
What's happening? What is happening?
ID had
Do you-
fight
do
talk
you
all
remember-
over his trunks.
Do you remember when he was Fight Talk?
I remember those
Remember
days.
that?
ID had fight talk all
You're
over
worse
his
than
ring
Davis
gear.
Pagan.
Davis, fuck Davis. Turns down all our invites.
Fuck
Davis
you,
Pagan.
Davis.
Yeah. Yeah, got a draw. 90, 76-76. ID Hill and Sean Craig. Good fight. It was a good fight, man. I scored it about that. I don't think you can argue either way. ID continues to take these fights with geezers that not no one else will. That's not right, but
No one else will take as many risky fights.
he
Fight
doesn't
after
give a
fight after
fuck.
fight.
He doesn't give a fuck. Sohail Ahmed, well thought of. Sanjeev Sahota, well thought of. ID don't give a fuck. He'll fight them all, and I love that shit.
And he gives them all a hard time.
It gives them all a hard time.
He's guilty of not being spiteful enough. That's the only thing.
Yes, he is.
He always fares well against them. Always there or thereabouts. I said it in an interview yesterday. I'll say it again. ID, if you're listening, you need to be more spiteful to people, like biting and stuff.
But you train with him obviously on a daily basis or whatever. What's he like in the gym? Does he show more of that ruthlessness when you're sparring, or is it just something that does he
just
get
too
laid
nice.
back? Or
He's
what's
nice. He's nice.
Okay.
You'll never see him fade in the gym. He'll do as many rounds as you want him to do. He'll just do them. Maybe it's because he doesn't exert himself too much. But I spy him. I spied him loads for this fight, and you'll move back. You'll be on the ropes, and he won't do anything. He'll look mean. Do his work. Well, he's good at long fights because he'll always have the energy. But
Yeah.
sometimes, like last night, you see him hit him with an absolute dynamite uppercut, and then sort of be like, "Oh, that's enough. I've won the round now." And then he thinks,
Yeah.
"I've won the round. I can chill out." That's what I'm seeing is, I've won the round. I can chill out now.
I was with you when we watched the 7th round, and he blasted Sean Craig in the 7th round. Remember?
Was that the overhand
With
right?
The street
Well, the whole
fighter
round?
tiger uppercut.
It was the whole round. He was on him the whole round, and
Yeah.
you and a couple of the boys for your gym were like, just fucking move
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
And you're right. He just kind of. He was still moving forward, but it wasn't killer instinct. It
Yeah.
wasn't. Let's finish this fight.
Round 7, he was on his case. Round 8, he should have killer instinct. Hold your breath, close your eyes, swing it out. Just you need to start getting aggressive, be nasty, be spiteful. He's such a nice person that I think he'd knock you down and sort of pick you up at 7. Mate, you've only got 1 second. Get up.
But does ID have a realistic? Does he have a realistic view on how his fights are being scored? Because someone could be like that, and someone could maybe not go out swinging because in their head they've got an unfair vision of how the fight's been scored. So if he thinks he's winning that fight last night on points, which I think he might have
He
done,
thought he won.
so if he thinks that, he's not going to go out in the last round and start swinging because he goes, I might have got this in the bag.
Yeah,
This
I
is where
understand.
you've got to learn to listen to your corner though, because they're seeing it from a different angle. And,
Yeah.
and I can imagine Al would have said to him, even if he didn't know he was winning or losing, Al would have known it was close. He could say, ID, this is close. Even if it was 4 rounds to 3, a coach ain't going to go, I think we're winning, so just
Yeah.
chill out. Just chill out.
Yeah.
Just get through it. He's not going to say it. He's going to say, listen, I think you're winning, but get this last round to secure it. So ID should have, regardless of what he thought himself, you've got to forget about that and think, right, people are seeing this as close. I need to do something. And I knew going into the last, I said to Jack Ely, he needs to win this last round to get a draw.
Yeah.
And then Donald Trump said to me as well, he thinks ID's going to stop him or not. Uncle Gary, Uncle G.
Donald Trump!
You know what I'm talking
He
about.
does
as
have
well.
that hair.
But he said to me, ID's going to stop him in this last round, ID's going to stop him. And I said,
He
"This is-
landed the shot of the fight in the last round. It was an overhand right, and it was straight on. It was like a forehead, I think it connected, and you sort of see his eyes sort of.
ID has hard hands as well.
Overhand right, straight on the forehead, gloves down, and then I just thought he'd swarm him, and he doesn't. ID doesn't swarm him. It's just, listen, you're not going to change him. He is who he is now, and maybe if he had that more killer instinct, he would have got the win against Sanjeev, because Sanjeev's eye was in a bad way.
Yeah.
And ID didn't put enough on him to get him stopped. But nicest guy in the world.
Listen, great fight.
Great
ID.
fight.
Everyone loves ID. If you don't like ID,
You got issues.
you've
Then
got
we don't
problems.
like
He's
you.
such a nice guy.
Yeah,
Such a nice guy.
If you don't like ID, we don't like you.
damn right.
Turn the podcast off immediately.
Even if you like ID but you're Mickey Elliott, we still don't like you.
Two other really good, I thought very good positives for the night were the debut of young Martin McDonough,
I thought he was
who looks
outstanding.
around 12 years old, maybe 13.
Brilliant.
And his debut against Fonz Alexander, great feet, lovely style, great shots, very, very good fighter. For honestly, was he 18, 19? He's got to be very young.
Must be young. But the biggest thing for me was the way that he was so mature. Like, he judged the distance really well. How many times did Fonz lunge in and he stepped back and caught him on that sneaky right hook on the way back?
Picks up on that watching it from the side. He was always about 3-0 out of range when he slipped.
Yeah.
Do his work, and he doesn't go ridiculously out of range.
Yeah.
Doesn't just
He's
get
close
clipped.
enough to then throw back.
He's just 2-3-0 off the
Very
shot.
good.
He just sort of just glides, but he probably feels the wind off of every
Yeah.
shot where he's
Yeah.
so tight on the shots.
I
But
was really impressed.
phenomenal.
I was.
Really
And
impressed.
for me,
Imagine when he gets man strength.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he's got that ability, so as soon as he grows into himself,
yeah,
He was like
very talented.
European champion, or
he won it all as an amateur. didn't he? He
qualified
won
for the
it.
Europeans, and then there was like a three fighters in his division all fighting to get to the spot for a spot at Tokyo, I think it was.
Wow.
And they would just always, when you beat one, then you lose to him, and
Yeah.
he just missed out on a place for that as well.
Wow.
There you go.
He was a top class.
More fact bombs dropped by Richie Craig.
See? No cheat sheet.
Um,
Can't believe you called Andy Clark a wanker.
Andy, you're my mate, don't listen.
Sammy
Silly Billy.
Sammy McNess made his return after getting beat by Byfield.
Best performance on the card.
Looked superb under Gary Logan.
Best performance on the card for me.
Feet were exceptional. Shot selection was brilliant. He
Yeah.
didn't waste a thing. Sammy McNess is a guy that you think it was, well, evidently it was too soon against Byfield.
Yeah.
See, I thought Sam McNess was going to bomb Byfield out.
See, I picked Byfield early in that.
He went with him early.
Sam was a top class amateur as well.
Mm-hmm.
Winning everything as a junior. Don't think he did much senior. I think it was all junior stuff that he won, but top class, had all the skill, and it showed obviously last night. Sonny White doesn't get stopped very often. I think he might have had 20 fights. He's been stopped 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. Oh, he obliterated Sonny White, didn't he? He put him down 2 or 3 times, and he was hurting him the body shot. Those big wide body shots that were coming round Sonny's arms and just catching him on the back.
Mm-hmm.
He looked really impressive. His footwork was great. He was in control. He was taking those little shadow steps in and stepping back out again. I thought he looked really, really good last night.
Yeah. No, I think that's the best you've probably seen him.
Yeah.
I'd imagine. So that's a good sign for him.
But again, what you have to ask yourself is, that's the best we've seen him, but is it the only real fight we've seen him in is against Byfield? Like, is Sonny Whiting the same as a guy that he fought in his 5th fight or his 6th
Yeah,
fight?
that's a good point.
And that's the thing. So you can look fucking brilliant, but it's not the same as fighting Byfield. It's not the same level. So he did look really good last night, but I think he has to carry that on through the levels again.
Yeah,
obviously.
it's easy to look good against someone that's not really there to fight back.
Yeah.
Final fight of the night was pretty dull affair.
I don't think it was that bad.
No.
No, I thought it was quite.
It's a good fight. It was reckless, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
just 2 reckless
Yeah,
guys.
Sia Ozgul, who's well thought of, he's the current Southern Area champion at super light, right, £140.
Yeah.
And Danny Connor fell off the card, obviously, which is about a month ago now. Who was due to be his opponent. That would have been a great fight.
Yeah, I would have liked that.
They never managed to get a replacement eligible to fight for the title.
I think Dan wants that again.
Does he?
Yeah, he messaged me yesterday. He had an injury, and we've split out of Al and stuff like that. He weren't settled. He said it just weren't right for him at the time. So
he fought Innocent and Yanwu, who's the smallest super lightweight you'll ever see. Nickname is the Little Big Man or Big Little Man, one of them. Always in tough fights. Like,
he's alright.
Yeah, he's
I thought he was
alright, man.
alright.
Like, you can't say.
He's catching Ozgul with a few shots.
My problem was Sia Ozgul never looked like he was going to get him out of there.
No.
He never looked like he was hurting him.
I don't
enough.
know. I've never sparred him. He's obviously not my size, but I don't think he can punch.
But he looks. I watched him on the pads, and he looks as though he hits hard.
I know, but there's a lot of fighters that I know that they look like they can punch, but they can't. Boys I've sparred, and you look at them, they make a lot of noise, they do a lot of action, everything they do, they look like they're hitting hard, and then they hit you, and it's like
That's weird, isn't it?
you can't see power.
But it's weird because it looks like you can. Do you know
Well, I
what I
don't
mean?
think Dan Aziz looks like he can hit hard. But listen, when Dan lands a shot, look at people's faces, you can tell.
Yeah.
You can't tell by the action of what Dan does, you can tell by the reaction of their face.
Yeah, that's true.
When Ozgul lands a shot, people don't really go, ooh, They just.
But why is it different? Why? So it's weird to me, and I think you're right. You can't always see power. So I'm watching him on the pads, see Ross go, and every time he hits the pads, it's bang, 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 and then when you watch him in the ring, he's cracking that little guy square in the chin, and the little man's like, "Yep, cool, let's go, let's go." So where's that difference? Rich, can you shed any light on it?
I think it's the movement of the pads helps it. The trainer can help make the pads sound
Do you reckon
good.
they look off camera? There's a boom mic really close to the pads.
on pads, it's easy to make someone look good. Not saying he's not a good boxer, obviously he is, but it's to make someone look good. You can make someone look skillful. You can make someone look powerful and even sound powerful by the way you do the pads, the way you hold the pads, and it's different. It might be some technique in his punches. He might just not have natural power. But it's not the same hitting a pad.
Maybe he'll be a guy that he'll look better against better opposition. It's possible.
I still think he can stop people because he's got a tremendous work rate and fitness.
There was also his first fight last night, I believe, without Barry Smith. He was with Barry Smith up until now. He was actually Mickey Helliott fighter. So you're happy. He's left Helliott and he's joined the crew. He's MTK now, so he's a new best mate, isn't he?
Could be better for me.
Couldn't be better.
You're like friends and stuff now.
Yeah. No, maybe it'd be better against better. I wasn't blown away by him, is the truth of it. But listen, it is what it is. Isn't it?
It was probably a frustrating, disappointing night for him because he wanted a.
But he moves to 14-0, and I'd like to see him in a fight now. A real good.
Yeah, he's got to be.
Yeah. Craig wanted. I wasn't going to mention it at all. I thought we gave it as much airtime as it probably needed. But you wanna talk in depth about it, I believe. Mickey Helliott's show, York Hall. It was 24 fights, I believe, on paper, right? Unless a couple fell out, maybe.
24, 34,
Started at 9:30 a.m. Saturday morning.
Last Saturday morning.
Yeah. And finished, I think, about 20 minutes ago. So first ever 24-hour boxathon, it was called.
No, not the first. He's run a few. I don't want to talk in depth about it. All I want to do is shed a bit of light on why I always say, "Oh, Mickey Helliott this, Mickey Helliott that." If there was an example that I could frame that would explain why I'm against the whole Hellraiser thing, it's last night's card. People probably think, "Oh, he's got like some sort of grudge against Mickey Helliott this, Mickey Helliott that." Mickey Helliott's probably a decent guy. He looks like Penfold, but he's probably a decent guy. But when you have a you can laugh loudly, it's alright, people hear it. When you have a 24 fight card purely to make money off ticket sales of guys that you continue to not match appropriately, you're robbing a living, man. You're stealing a living off people. Like, why? You have to ask yourself this. Darryl Williams was managed by Mickey Helliott.
Still is.
Why did we wait so long to see Darryl Williams step up? Because he used to do decent tickets, I guess. Why did we wait so fucking long for cruiserweight Robin Dupree, who looks like a fucking melted ice cream? Why did we wait so long to see him step up and then get fucking battered? Why are we surprised? Because he brings busloads from Devon or wherever else. It's not fair, man. It's not fair. Me and Rich spoke about it, or me and Adrian spoke about it, I can't remember. It's not fair for people to be fed these lies all the time, like fans like, buy tickets for my show, buy tickets for my next fight. Your 13th fight is the same as your second fight. Why am I churning out money all the time? And then promoters are going to be like, well, you haven't done the same tickets as you did your fifth time out. No wonder I'm not going anywhere. I haven't moved anywhere. So 24 fights at York Hall. It lacks any of the allure of a Goodwin show. He doesn't put any money into the production the same as a Goodwin show. He has fucking old curtains hanging down for the stage, and a couple of crackheads who have been sleeping there for the last couple of weeks just resting in the fucking background. It's an awful experience, man. And to start,
you need a packed lunch.
Oh mate, a 24 fight card, and I don't feel bad for. Well, I do feel bad for the fighters. I feel bad for the fighters. So you get some decent people in there who could probably do alright and make a little bit of movement under Steve Goodwin, or not even Steve Goodwin, Carl Graves, or these kind of people who actually care and try and promote people the right way. He doesn't do that. To me, the only reason he puts on shows and the only reason he keeps people really tightly under his wing is to make money for himself. It's not about, name me a career that he's progressed properly.
Byfield's done alright.
Done it on his own.
He is a Helliott fighter.
He's done it on his own.
He got, yeah.
Byfield would be Byfield without Helliott.
Yeah, agreed.
When did you look at a headline about Byfield and go, fucking Mickey Elliott's done a good job with him.
Mm-hmm.
If Byfield was a really quiet guy and Elliott had topped him up and built him up, then that's a different story.
Yeah, you're right. He's got Darryl Williams who barks in people's faces. He's got his own personality. I know what you're saying.
But not even that. Look at Darryl Williams and look at how he stagnated the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
So he got him that shot, Jermaine Smile. Then he got him a rematch, Jermaine Smile. Then he fucking retired from boxing.
Yeah.
The boy retired from boxing as the fucking English champ.
Yep.
27 years old, 28 years old. He retired from the sport because of a lack of opportunities or financial support.
Very
and
true.
then he's come back to fight Lennox Clark, and that's not a knock on Darryl Williams because he can fight.
Mm-hmm.
Retiring? Why is Darryl retiring? Ask his fucking manager. I don't understand. The rant is over. If people think I'm an arsehole,
you make valid points. And Aaron Morgan had one. He's a Elliott boy.
Yep.
Had one opportunity on television against Joe Pigford and got beaten. It was a good fight. He got beat quite badly.
And there's no shame in getting beat by Pigford
Not
because
at all.
he's a good fighter.
Exactly. And what happened? He made his comeback. He's on MTK about 3 or 4 months ago, and he fought last night, and he got beat by William Warburton.
Stopped.
Was it stopped?
William Warburton is a beast.
Did he get
William
stopped
Warburton's
last
good.
night?
He got stopped.
William Warburton's not good. He's well good. He is a beast.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ruining careers since whenever he started.
Yeah.
Now, there's a fair argument to say maybe once he'd had his television fight, Aaron Morgan, he shouldn't be going back to fight Warburton.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
In his second fight
In
back.
his second fight back, it was on a hide into nothing. You can't win because if you've only beat William Warburton.
But then you put him as a main event,
Was he the main event?
or he's one of the main attractions.
Isn't there 7 main events? They have one every 4 hours
Yeah,
between
they
Big
have
Narstie coming out. Heard he was commentating last night, Big Narstie. And,
Listen, it wouldn't have to be Big Nasty to call everybody cunts on that.
yeah.
But I just don't get it, mate, and it winds me up because I see. Even look at the fucking poster. Remember I sent you that poster with just the floating heads of the boxers, like the little yellow hazardous triangle, the little hazardous sign as though they were going to destroy somebody.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch 24 decisions. That's what I'm going to watch. There's nothing. The only thing hazardous is how I might be a danger to my own health. That's the only thing hazardous. It's a load of shit, man.
So when's the next one? Are we
Who
going?
gives a fuck? Awful, man. Awful.
The Mickey Elliott TV shows.
He has previously.
Yeah.
He sells fights on to a Channel 4 show, I believe.
I dropped a pen.
Total Sports or something like that, and they put some fights on. I don't know what it's called, but
He had something to do with London Live at some point as well. That was another
he
weird
used to
channel.
run a gym, did he not?
Don't know.
He used to run his own gym, and it was like a state-of-the-art gym.
You was still talking about Mickey Elliott because when you were talking about Mickey Elliott about 20 minutes ago, I fell asleep and I just woke back up with that. So
It's like being at one of his
I
shows, right?
I was like, we're done yet. We're done with that bit.
It's really
yet.
awkward for you because you've not fought since Dwayne Grant, so you'll be on the next, you'll be on the next Mickey Elliott card.
No, I qualify for that now.
Everybody get down to the next Elliott show.
Rich is on 37th on the next Elliott show. But anyway, enough of that. I just had to get it off my chest.
Alright, let's move on to Bradley Skeet.
Woo! Talk about chests.
Talk about
Bodies.
And talk about me going to Spain. I might go link up with this geezer.
That guy.
La Laja. I'm so ignorant. I assumed it was going to be a knockover job. Didn't really look into it at all. Bradley Skeet's career, unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, kind of bores me. Sorry. The guy has skills for days. Stuck at British level for too long to do this big mythical thing of winning it outright, which means nothing nowadays, in my opinion. It's a great thing to say, but no one really cares anymore. How many of the top upper echelon fighters in this country are outright British champions? Not many. And does it matter? Has it held their career back? No. Does it mean anything for you? Probably not. So
I think David Price is going to come back and win the British outright.
Maybe. But Bradley Skeet, very good boxer. I've never heard anyone say a bad word about him. Just don't get his career path. And one of the questions we had in was about this as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we've got a couple of questions about Skeet. Martin from New Age Boxing again. Why do you think Frank wasn't there with Skeet last night for the biggest fight of his career? Do you think the result would have differed if the fight happened at the Copper Box? Rich?
I haven't really followed much of anything he's done, to be honest. I think I watched one of his fights, was it a year or so ago? He boxed some guy who was about 4 foot tall. And since then, I haven't really followed a lot of his stuff. So, actually watching him box, I couldn't really judge. But just going on the basis that the fight was in Spain and not in England, would it be different? Maybe it would have gone a little bit longer because you would have had
I don't think he could.
Maybe it would have gone longer. Maybe it would have lasted longer because he'd been more encouraged by having his own people there, like home advantage, if you like. But when you see someone get bombed out quick, it doesn't matter where you put it. It's not going to make massive difference. You might nick a few more rounds, but maybe.
Sam, you watched the...
I watched the stream. Yeah, you nodded off. You weren't pissed for a change. It was bizarre.
I was fucked.
He was very tired. So I watched it. I found a YouTube video of it, which is now
MTK.
It's now, the video has now been taken down, so it's like the fight didn't exist. I didn't actually know Frank Warren weren't there either. We'll touch on that in a second. But yeah, I was ignorant to Spanish boxing and Bilbao as a fuckers. There was some atmosphere in that clip I watched.
Yeah, it was bouncing.
It was bouncing, mate. It was fucking going, and the geezer look. I mean, he had the worst haircut. I can't tell you how much I despise a geezer with a skinhead, but a fucking rat's tail.
Oh.
Like when he's throwing shots and it's bouncing, he must feel like someone's tapping him on the shoulder.
That's not
like
been cool.
Keep looking around.
That's not been cool since Liam Neeson in Star Wars.
I don't think it's ever been cool, to be honest.
I actually tried to do
that. It was cool in Star Wars.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I've never seen Star Wars.
I tried to grow one. It just looked like a loose carrot. Just dangling.
Yeah, it's crazy, Bradley Skeet, isn't it? Like, it was the biggest fight of his career. I wonder why Frank weren't there.
Because he doesn't care.
Why does he not care? Because he doesn't move the needle? Because he's not
well, I was kind of going back and forth with Tom Humber for the website. He used to be for the website.
It's a sack now. He's a bit like you.
Yeah, I'm still the website.
mtk.co.uk.
And I was going back with Tom and Babs and Dan Frost, and we were just saying it seems as though Frank's priorities have totally shifted. He's transitioned from, do you remember like maybe last year or the year before where Skeet and Flanagan were the big names?
Yeah.
Now it's not like that anymore.
No.
Now Skeet and Flanagan, yeah, we'll fucking throw them on a card. Now it's all Tyson Fury,
Sent him
Frampton,
away.
Yeah.
He's literally sent him away.
They're fighting away. They're fighting in Spain.
Can we fight? Yeah, go on. Baby,
what you want.
You're going away, mate.
When are you coming out, Frank? I'm not coming out, mate. Sorry. I don't. It's very strange, but another one of the questions was, did anyone see it coming? And
Frank was probably at the MTK show, to be fair.
Yeah, he's MTK to
Place
the
to be,
bone.
wasn't it?
He's MTK to the bone nowadays. But someone else asked, Rob Cass asked us, did anyone see it going wrong? Where does Skeet go from here? What next?
Pure ignorance from me. I didn't see it coming, but that's because I didn't care enough to research the opponent. Now, if I'd have researched him, would I have known that he was going to blow Skeet out in 2 rounds? Probably not. Where does he go from here? Maybe he goes to like Dusseldorf or another random European country and fights for a WBO European or some other title that he probably doesn't care about. And his career's gone weird, mate.
Talk us through the stoppage, because I was asleep, and when I woke up, the stream had been removed.
Yep.
Richie doesn't watch boxing.
At least he turns up.
So talk us through the stoppage, mate. What was it like?
Body shot, I think, was what crippled him, man. It was a couple of body shots. First one, it dropped him. It was one of them where he took a step back, and then the one that stopped him was just a crippling body shot. And I can't remember if it was a left or a right. I was uploading interviews at the time, but I watched him fall. That fucking hurt. And then when it got to 7 or 8, you think, shit, now that's hurting bad. He can't move. He stood up on 7 or 8 and was still like curled up. So he's lifting his guard up and he's sort of haunched over as such. And you thought, yeah, he's fucked. He's gone, mate. So the geezer swarmed him, and then he'd had enough. Was
the boy a good boxer, or was he just
too focused on that rat's tail? Like, it's really distracting, man. He must feel like someone's tapping him on the shoulder. Think about it. Every time it's bouncing from shoulder to shoulder. I don't know.
I'm just going to assume you don't know how to spell this guy's name because you couldn't pronounce it.
It's like Laraja.
Larraja.
Oh, Laraja.
You just made that up. You just made that up.
I'm telling you.
Larreja, is it?
Larraja. Let's try that.
I'll tell you what, I'll just go.
But they're not going to show a picture of him from the back, are they, Rich? They're not going to just see his head. You're just going to see him as a skinhead. And it's only when he turns around he's got this fucking badge.
Who was the footballer that had that? Palacios?
Palacios still got it. Palacios,
awful, man.
yeah. Palacios. But no, he looked good, mate. He looked like he'd be a problem for people because he looked strong and he looked aggressive.
And you can tell by the atmosphere there that that's not the first time those boys have been out to watch him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
definitely.
Yeah.
Where does he go? And where for you does Bradley Skeet go now?
I don't. see for me, like Bradley Skeet's a really
Looks like
tidy.
Costa Zoo with his rat's tail.
Costa Zoo.
Have you seen a picture of him?
Yeah.
Show me.
He had one as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he had
I want to see if
Not-
it's as bad on
Costa
picture
Zoo's
as it is.
You can't see it here, but I'm just picturing at the back of his head. Looking at his picture, and I don't know if it's a tail on his shoulder there, but I'm imagining it. I'm thinking of Costa Zoo.
Costa Zeus was higher up.
And Costa Zoo was a fucking gangster.
Yeah.
So it's just
We'll
like
let-
he was
we'll
a
let him
bad
off.
man.
He can do what he
He
wants.
can do what he wants.
This guy's was so long, it just freaked me out, man. It looked like, yeah, very strange.
I can tell
So
it really got to
it
you.
really got to me, mate.
I think Bradley Skeet's a really tidy boxer. He's a clever boxer, but in terms of holding his own at world title level, can you realistically see Bradley Skeet's physique?
Oh, dude, that's before
over the
skinhead.
shoulder.
Look,
Ah,
sitting over the
What a
shoulder.
geezer.
I've got every right to be angry at that hair, haven't I?
Oh, what a geezer.
that's twice Richie's interrupted me for pictures of this rat's tail, but I promise you, if you look at the box rec, it's worth it. It's horrifying, man.
It's so
It's
wonderful.
horrifying. It looks like a fucking monkey's finger just reaching over his shoulder.
His record is intense though. 25-0 with 20 knockouts.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's serious.
Yep.
He's a problem.
But they're all in Spain, so it goes back to how
Did they happen, Joe Fournier style?
how much do you know? I don't think Bradley Skeet has got the physique, or he's got boxing ability. I don't think he's got the physique or the power to carry himself at world level. Can you imagine Bradley Skeet fighting Terence Crawford? Are you fucking mad? Terence Crawford would smash Bradley Skeet. And that's no, I don't mean any disrespect. Bradley Skeet doesn't like me anyway because
No, he
of the
doesn't.
John O'Donnell
Yeah.
saga.
Knocked
But
out Dayton with a cell.
Yeah, he doesn't.
I don't know. I think he lingers around European level for me.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be pushed any other. If for Frank to not go last night, it's a clear indicator of how he feels about Bradley, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
If he wasn't pushing him before, he ain't going to fucking do it now, is he?
Hard to come back from that.
A lot of fighters that I know that have been signed with Warren, they kind of not get out very much. They don't get a lot of attention.
Do you know yesterday who I was thinking about? Lucian Reed.
He was there, wasn't he, last night?
Was he?
Yep.
I didn't see Lucian. I like
He was there
Lucian.
last night. I think he was there with Sam Cox. I'm
Was
guessing.
Cox there?
Coxie was there with those two celebrities.
Oh, there you go. Look, he loves it. doesn't
Because those two celebrities were in me and Sam Cox's box at British
he?
Beef.
Ah, so they're your mates.
Well,
Let's-
they're not my mates. I don't know who the fuck they are. But
I didn't see Lucian. I didn't see any of them. to
nah,
be
he
honest.
was there. Lucian was there last night.
I like Lucian. Now, bearing in mind, he had a fight pulled on a week's notice in December at the Brentwood Centre on a Warren card. The card didn't happen, and he hasn't been put. He hasn't been put out again since. It's been now 6 months later.
Johnny Cole was supposed to be on that as well.
Johnny Coyle was supposed to be on it. It's that was a weird one. It was never ever explained officially. I mean, we all know why, but you know, it is what it is.
Strange.
Lucian hasn't been pushed. A lot of people aren't pushed by Frank.
A lot of fighters aren't pushed by Frank. I wonder if many aren't paid. What's the next topic anyway? Next topic.
I want to touch quickly on Dogboe.
It's Dogboe, my
Yeah,
boy.
man like Dogboe.
Isaac.
Isaac Dogboe becoming the world champ. Was he 23?
Young, 23.
He's 23 years
23.
old. Mate, fair play to him. That cunt, he's just an animal. On
Royal
the road.
Storm.
Royal Storm. Amazing article you did with him. Interview rather.
Thank you.
Top bloke. And just one of them guys that I've never met him, but everyone that I know that knows him just raves about what a nice guy is and how good
Very.
he is and how improved, and he's now a world champion, man.
Well, you look at when he fought, the last guy that he fought before the world title shot was for the interim title. And if you look at that snap left hook that he caught the guy with, I don't know if you've seen it, Rich. The
It
clip.
wasn't that long ago, was it?
No, it was like 3 months ago. But he catches the boy with like this. It's like a really snappy left hook right in the bottom of the guy's chin, and the boy just staggers back and goes down, and he's done. But he is an extremely talented boxer. It used to be main sparring partner for Carl Frampton. You see Carl Frampton put a tweet out today saying, "Always knew Isaac Dogboe would be a world champion," which was quite classy from Frampton.
Yeah.
And when I spoke to him on the phone, I was on the phone to him and his dad for 40 minutes, and they were just so fucking nice. They were so nice, but they were so focused and so zoned in on what they were going to achieve. And the thing was with Jesse Magdaleno beat Donaire for the world title, so he beat Donaire on points for the world title. So he was an official world champion, and that was a decent performance. But I was never really sold on him. I thought that fight was a lot closer than it should have been. But I always had a sneaking suspicion that Dogboe would lose on the cards. I always thought Dogboe would maybe get...
And he was dropped in the first round, Dogboe.
I always thought he'd get unfairly treated on the cards. But when you look at how he finishes Magdaleno, man, Jesus! You'll find a clip of that on Twitter.
Yeah,
I think I shared it on Twitter as well.
he did. So he got dropped in the first Dogboe, and then he dropped Magdalena in the 5th, and then the 11th round, fucking hell, just took him apart.
It was
beautiful.
He's a really, really impressive fighter, Dogboe, and I think he's so young.
Where's he from? I haven't seen him.
Well, he's born in Ghana, but he was born in Ghana, but he grew up in Brixton.
Yeah,
Brixton, Kennington, all these kind of places. He's just fucking good. He's just really good. He was an Olympian. He became an Olympian 2 years after he started boxing. 17 years old, fought in the Olympics. He's a fucking crazy talented boxer, and he's looking to come back here and make a mark in the UK.
I'd love to see him fight here now,
which is very evident. He's always said he wants to come back here and make a mark in the UK. So I think we'll get him back here. And from my conversations with him and his dad, they told me a couple of promoters were interested, a couple of TV broadcasters were interested.
But now he's got that WBO super bantamweight title. You could imagine him being on a on a Warren show at some point. Do you know what I mean?
But yeah, the way he comes in for this shot, I'm just playing it now.
Is this the finish?
The way he comes in, bang!
Oh, class.
Magdalena tries to come over
that wasn't
the
even
top,
a finish. That was
and he just gets absolutely pumped. Let's watch it again.
Beautiful.
It's just timing, man. His timing is fantastic. But it's the same when he fought that Mexican guy in Ghana.
That was where it was gone. It was about 3 months ago.
It was in the Bucom Arena, but the boy comes in here for an overhand shot.
Patience.
And
bam,
nah, mate. See you later.
Beautiful.
Just times it perfectly.
That kind of power, you don't see that many knockovers at super bantam either. It's not the.
And he's shorter than most of his opponents.
Yeah. But
his precision is on point, man. So he's connecting on the right part of the face, the right part of the chin. And he's transferring his weight very, very nicely. So he's a world champion now. He's the youngest ever Ghanaian world champion. And they produce some scrappers, man. Richard Comey, boys like that still floating about. They got a lot of good fighters. So shout out Isaac Dogboe.
Yes.
Been good to me, nice guy, and we'll hopefully catch
Congratulations,
up soon.
man.
Catch up soon.
Enjoy it. That shit ain't easy. Going over to there, so nah. Hats off to him. We're not going to go into too much detail about that Matchroom show last night. Couple of the fights were pretty dull.
There was a Matchroom show last night.
In America, in Brooklyn.
Matchroom, Jacobs.
Yeah. Matchroom USA. Katie Taylor unified the division. She won the IBF world title in a 10-rounder. That's world titles, 10 rounds, 2-minute rounds. 10 2-minute rounds. Yeah.
I think with equal rights, they should be doing 12 frays.
Look at Richie's like, I've done a 6-rounder. That's the same.
Yeah. Pretty much
box Cheeky Grant. How can she fight for a world title? Listen, women with equal rights should be doing this.
I agree.
I'm not a feminist, but women want equal rights should be fighting the same as the men do. I'm sure some of the women want to do 3-minute rounds as well.
They do.
Adams did.
Adams in the second fight. She lobbied to have a 3-minute rounds in her fights, but world title fights
still never stopped her. Fuck's sake.
But yeah, Kate Taylor, good fight, very entertaining women's fight. I'll be honest, not many women's fights do I watch and go, this is fun. But last night I enjoyed that. Kate Taylor's hand speed is insane. She's also strong. You know what I mean? She's also, you don't feel like she's just touching the girl. She's actually hurting her.
I don't know. By the way, I don't know if I agree with that.
No,
because you look at her amateur pedigree and how elite she is. How many times has she put people down?
What, since?
Like, as a pro? Not many.
Yeah.
Not many.
That's a fair point. I mean, I wouldn't want to clump off her.
She comfortably won every single round last night, but she never put the bird down.
Yeah, you're saying she's landing shots.
The
bird
bird was solid, mate.
Yeah.
The bird, I don't know. They didn't look the same weight. The bird's legs were like tree trunks.
Yeah. So for me, if she's this fucking elite level, which she obviously is, I don't think she does have that much power.
Maybe not concussive power, but you can't measure power. Richie Gray told me that, so maybe she's just fought birds with amazing chins, and you're just doing her down because she's not. I don't know, MTK. I don't know.
Oh,
because you're sexist.
Yeah. I'm definitely not sexist.
No, you're being out of order.
He loves the women. No, I enjoyed that fight, and then they showed the debut of Yulusinov that was before the Katie Taylor fight, and fucking hell, that shot when he dropped. What was the kid's name he's fighting?
Noah Kid. Yeah.
That left came out of nowhere.
I really enjoyed.
Bam.
I really enjoyed watching him fight because he was. First couple of rounds, he was getting a bit of stick off the commentary team, which is fucking ridiculous.
I lost count of this Matthew Macklin.
Yeah.
I don't know about his power. And then out of nowhere, fucking Yulusinov unleashes that shot. That, yeah, very, very established amateur. Another man that you interviewed, Yulusinov.
247 amateur fights and 240 wins.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Fucking mental.
Yeah, no, it's
Similar to my record, really.
Yeah, pretty similar.
Well, that much a record.
he ain't been in there with a cheeky Grant.
He hasn't been in there with cheeky.
But you know the most worrying thing about the commentary is, just because Yulushinov doesn't go in there and try and bomb someone out in the first round, we start to hear questions about his power.
Mm-hmm.
He's an Olympic gold medalist. He's a world amateur champion. He's Kazakhstani and they're hard as fuck. So why? It's just poor, man.
Yeah.
3 minutes into a fight, we start to question this guy's power.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad he won. I'm glad he looked quite impressive. He wants to win a world title by the end of next year.
Yeah, 18 months.
Yep. So that's pretty ambitious. I know his team are ambitious and they think he's one of a kind. I thought he looked really, really good. And what I thought he did differently was, as good as Golovkin is at constantly pressuring and putting people under just this relentless attack, he actually looks quite slick on the back foot as well. He was dipping a lot of shots. He was moving out the way of a lot of work. So he looks like he could be the whole package. And soon we'll see. But yeah, I thought he looked really good. Yep.
Gerald Miller.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Now, we watched this earlier. And I said I don't believe he's been in the gym since his last fight. Like, how can you put on 30 pounds in the space of 3 or 4 months since the Gerald Washington fight? Like, where do you put 30 pounds on? He's got bigger wings, bigger tits, bigger belly. Still went to 12 rounds. But I don't believe any athlete should be coming in over 20 stone, let alone 22 and a half or 21.10 or whatever it was.
But, like, if he's really tall...
Yeah.
Like, there's some Chinese guys that are fighting just now who are 7 foot tall. If you're 7 foot and you weigh 20 stone, cool.
Yeah.
If you're not 7 foot, if you're like 5'11" or 6'1" or whatever it is, man, you can't weigh 20 stone.
No.
It's not a good look, man. And he carries it well, 21 stone, but it's just not good. It's not good for endurance. You've seen the first couple of rounds, he came out firing, he was throwing massive shots, and he looked quite tidy, and he looked quite good. And then just gradually it got worse and worse and worse, and it just ended up being a.
And he was in there with Duhapis, and then he has the cheek to say he wants Joshua.
Mm.
I think if he fights Anthony Joshua, can you imagine them coming to the centre of the ring together? It'll be like fucking before and after of like a calendar, like a Weight Watchers or The Biggest Loser or one of them fucking shows, because he doesn't look like a well-conditioned athlete. You know what I mean? One of them where it's just a real fat fuck against a geezer that's now ripped to fuck it.
You're saying Butterbean couldn't fight?
I'm not saying Butterbean couldn't fight.
Butterbean, you got a match, mate.
It's on.
If you're listening.
That's a good fight.
If you're not, someone call him out.
Yeah. Butterbean versus Gerald Miller could work.
The probability of Gerald Miller getting knocked out by AJ is as high as his cholesterol. Which is remarkable. It's the first time we've seen that. So, listen, he's decent enough, but he's never going to win a world title.
It doesn't excite me. I think he has shit chat as well.
Oh, his chat's shite. Muffins and all that stuff.
Talking about, I'm going to beat the English
I'm
muffin.
a toasted English muffin.
Yeah,
All
what?
that stuff.
Shut up, mate.
Ooh, really scary.
Yeah. Although I believe that will be the American that AJ fights before Wilder. We'll talk a little bit later. There's a couple of questions about, but I don't see. I mean, I can see rather why Eddie's pushing him, because it's a tailor-made opponent for AJ at some point, isn't it? It's another name, and he's got the link with Miller, so it kind of makes sense for Eddie, I guess, because he's covered all bases then, hasn't he?
We have a question from Sam Khan. Shout out Sam Khan. What a wonderful lady.
Questions now.
What a wonderful lady Sam Khan is. Hopefully see her at the live podcast as well and get another catch up. You won't, because you're selfishly going on holiday.
My bad.
She says, now that Hearn is moving in on a Miller v AJ matchup, is he taking fans for a ride of mediocrity? Good question.
He ain't the only one.
Rich, thoughts on that?
Say that question again.
So now that Hearn's moving in on matching AJ with this Jarrell Miller guy that you haven't seen,
Yep.
do you think...
Now please answer this question.
Go on.
But is Eddie Hearn taking fans for a ride? Is he making
What,
them
putting
think...
him in shit fights?
Yeah, like delaying the
I
big
don't need
fights.
to know him, because that proves the point of the question,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Basically.
So what do you think?
Is he rinsing money out of the public?
Yeah, that's the question.
That's the question.
Essentially the question.
Well, yes and no, because AJ's not going to get all the fights he wants straight away. It just don't happen like that, does it? So he's got to fight someone, but he could fight some bigger names. I mean, I watch boxing all the time. I don't know who this geezer is.
Yeah,
But he could. There are big fights out there for him.
He's literally the biggest fight you could get. He's 304 pounds.
yeah.
Like,
He couldn't get any bigger. Well, he probably will, but yeah, no, I get the point.
is he taking people for a ride? AJ's got to fight someone, isn't he? Until he gets the fights that people want, and maybe they're going to build the fights up first. The fights that people actually want to see can't just happen just like that. You both know that boxing just doesn't work that way. So he's going to get a few other opponents, if you like.
Yeah. What do you think, Craig?
I think it was really interesting. We're going to touch on AJ Wilder later on, but I think it was really interesting the way those weird video negotiations panned out during the week. You want 50 million? Here's your 50 million. And then, well, where's the 50 million really coming from? And do they have the money? And then Wilder's team cancelled the meeting.
See, that's what I don't understand. Why cancel the meeting?
It's just all about
that's my
Wilder is
problem.
nowhere near as big as in America as AJ is. I've got a friend from America, and he come over here, and I said, just out of curiosity, I said, do you know Deontay Wilder is? And he was like, who? Said he's a boxer.
No
Didn't
idea.
even know he was a boxer.
No idea.
You don't get that in England, even if you're not a boxing fan.
It's a strange situation. Like, I don't even mind that the cheesy ass Anthony Joshua. You want your 50 million? You got it, baby. Like,
That's a pretty good impression, you know.
thanks.
Good.
I don't mind it. Bomb Scotland. No, I don't even mind the cheesiness of that, but you still have to do the official bit behind the scenes. You still have to go for the meetings and negotiate.
Yeah.
But then for them to cancel that meeting, and then they sent an email which has now been made public saying, "What's it got to do with you if the money's legit? We're telling you it is." But it is essentially what Shelley Finkel said to Eddie Hearn. He said, "We're offering 50 million for the fight. Take it or leave it." Is basically what they're saying, isn't it?
But that's a kind of pathetic way of doing a negotiation, isn't it? Hey, Richie, I'll give you 25 quid for your mountain bike. Well, you know, I was thinking of selling the mountain bike, so show us the money. I can't show you the money, Rich. But I would like you to agree on selling your mountain bike. Well, I'm not going to do that until I see the cash, because I've got loads of mountain bikes and I do a lot of cycling. And I want to make sure I've got some money. You can't have one without the other. You can't agree.
What do you want him to do? Screenshot his bank account?
I'd like him to present. Well, listen, everybody knows how finance works. Even if the money is not in a bank right now, if you can show progressively how the money will be attained, that's not a problem. So if you
He's a bank manager, to be fair.
Yeah. So if you go, I don't have $50 million in my account right now, Eddie, but if we seal this deal, Showtime have told me they will give me an advance of 30 million. This country is going to buy it for 5 million. Obviously not those figures to anyone sitting dissecting the figures, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
if you can project where the money is coming from and show that those figures are based on a signing of a deal, not on how the fight turns out, or how the fight is hyped, because that cannot be guaranteed. But there has to be some form of explanation.
Can you help me invest my money?
No, I know.
Just off the back of that. Just off the back of what you just said.
You'd have 37 mountain bikes by the end of the week.
You sound like you know stuff.
I'm broke as fuck.
Just invest in mountain bikes, Rich. 25 quid he gets them for.
There has to be some
25
form.
quid. Do you know how many of my bike you would buy with that?
a tyre?
About 400 of them.
You can't just base it on exchanging words over a phone or over an Instagram video. It doesn't. For that amount of money, we can't be expected. But then my counter argument would be, what's the harm in Eddie going, we'll take the deal as long as you can back up the facts on Friday.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
If you can show me on Friday the facts, we'll take the deal.
That's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought. I thought he could have. It would have been just as easy for him to go, it's a great offer and it's a great PR move, but let's see it, to go, if those are the terms and they're correct and I see that on Friday, I'll accept it.
Do you really think this fight's happening in America?
I don't think the fight's happening.
Never.
Maybe 18 months, 2 years.
Yes, it's going to happen.
All these mandatories that Joshua
has.
has.
In America?
Vegas maybe, but not yet. I listen, I've been proven wrong in the past. I think the Joshua mandatories will get in the way. I think the situation with the WBC mandatory is going to get in the way. God knows what's happening there with Brazil, and Dillian White's going to be wanting to fight someone at some point.
Fury's going to come back and clean up.
Fury's going to come back, but he's not going to be. They're not going to give him fights. No one's going to fight him because they're not going to have to. He's going to have to get himself high ranked. Mate, it's all over the gaff. And we started this conversation talking about Gerald Miller. I think he's the least of anyone's worries, to be honest. A fat lump. I don't think anyone cares about Gerald Miller. You can just constantly let him. Exactly.
Gerald Miller is the only man licensed at the moment who is built like a fridge.
Yeah, an
He's
actual
literally
fridge.
built like a fridge, and I think he would get beat off any of these elite guys.
I'd like to see him and Dillian for fun.
Yeah, I mean, he talked about it before, didn't he? It was,
Yeah, but why not? I mean, Dillian's got to fight somebody. Like,
but the way you have to look at it is they are both strong marketing tools individually, right?
for Eddie.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So why put them together and risk having a backup plan for when one?
Yeah, very, very good point.
One's finished. So
Although it could, in his head, it could, if everything else was sewn up, maybe he puts that fight together and the winner, it makes the Joshua fight bigger. I don't know. Eddie does what he wants, and he's kind of monopolising this division in a sense, apart from obviously Wilder, but everything else underneath is kind of sewn up with him at the minute.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Jacobs,
The Miracle Man,
the Miracle Man. Good.
Danny Jacobs.
Yeah, it was Selecki.
Can we just let's just address something right now? And this, fuck's sake.
You better be careful.
I know, I'm trying to be really careful about it. Black Panther is a really good film.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody now is like adopting like Black Panther stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're all doing like the Wakanda signs and the
Yeah.
fight intros and everything else.
Mm-hmm. Where was that 6 months ago?
Yeah, like that's a.
It's quite strange.
I don't give a fuck what anyone does. They can do what they want to do. But isn't it mad? Like Danny Jacobs came in last night with like all these dancers who were fantastic, and he was dressed all regal and like African sort of style dress.
Yeah, it was good.
And all that. It was cool. Don't ever remember Danny Jacobs doing that before, which is fine.
Man, they're inspired by that film.
They are, but so many fighters and so many
Yeah.
sports people now.
Well, there's that's like a superhero film, right?
Yes, it's
There's
like
also
Marvel.
there's also one called Red Arrow. Were you as inspired? Did you start dancing around?
Very good, very good. But no, I think the impact that film's had on
Everything,
culture
yeah.
it's been enormous, man. But I just thought that when we see, because we've seen Dan Aziz yesterday did the Wakanda thing.
No, he didn't. He did the West Ham.
No, it's not.
It might be West
It's
Ham.
not. We clarified. He's wearing an Arsenal t-shirt. And then you
there's
see,
an opening for a witch doctor. I need a witch doctor at my next
yeah, the
fight.
witch.
that
Yeah,
guy
it's
is
a witch
serious.
doctor
Opening.
guy.
That
You
is
know what's the
that is
job?
quality. He's a YouTuber, isn't it? He's an Arsenal
Is it?
fan
Yeah.
YouTuber. Yeah.
But then you had Jarrell Miller came out with some superhero outfit, which was kind of reminiscent.
Yeah.
Then you had Danny Jacobs, and we've seen it before in the
That
past.
film is it the first black guy to be the lead hero in
I
a film?
believe.
Yes.
That's why people are going so crazy about it.
it's
good,
which is
mate.
which is
It's
cool.
good,
It's a
isn't
cool
it?
thing, yeah,
It's
it's a good
quality. It's brilliant. But yeah,
But it's interesting.
I
isn't
don't think it's
It is
never happened. I
interesting.
don't think it's never happened before because it's for a reason. It's just now that it's just come up. If you like,
like why didn't it happen a year ago when Luke Cage come out? I loved fucking Luke Cage.
Good look,
I
he's a-
thought that
he
was
was
brilliant.
he was a bad dude.
He's
But
a
why?
bad
It's
boy.
very interesting that people now feel compelled to like, yeah, now we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Now we're going to do this walkout. And it's like, I don't really care how people walk out. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
it's just interesting how massive a cultural shift there's been because of that film.
yeah,
I
agreed.
just thought it was worth touching on.
Yeah.
But
we
Danny
are
Jacobs,
also a very cultural podcast.
We are.
and we ask the controversial questions.
Yeah.
Why is Mickey
You're
Elliott
trying to kid
so
you guys.
shit?
Black Panther, good film. Mickey Elliott, shite promoter. So
yeah.
In short,
and that's it.
Yeah.
That's the caption for the podcast. Danny Jacobs looked pretty good last night, but I thought Sulechki looked pretty good as well.
Yeah, Danny Jacobs doesn't excite me. He should because he's a very good boxer, but I don't know where he goes. You know when you look at someone and you think, you know when you go like Golovkin Canelo for example was the fight we all wanted to see, and you look at Danny Jacobs and you think, right, fought Golovkin,
that was his day.
and then you go Danny Jacobs, would I put him with Billy Joe? Probably wouldn't enjoy that fight. I just don't know what I'm looking for, so I'm sitting here going, I don't know what I want from him, but whatever he's doing doesn't really interest me, and that's how I feel about him.
Outside of the three amigos,
Canelo,
like.
Golovkin and Billy Joe.
yeah. Who else do you care about? Really, at the top, that's
Yeah.
who people were just staring at. Anyone around him is in that little circle that you just put him in.
Yeah. It's a good point. It is a good point.
Just because them three.
I like Charlo.
Just-
I like Charlo, both of them.
We like Billy Joe because he's one of us. And
That's not why I liked him. I had to grow to like Billy Joe.
But
When you say one of us, do you mean a traveller?
no, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The other two are superstars from other parts of the world, and the three of them are top of the tree at the minute. So maybe you're just saying that. It's just the feeling that you're getting because he's not part of that.
It's very possible.
Little trio.
I like watching the Charlos and the twin who's at middleweight. Is that Jamel, isn't it?
Oh, fuck knows.
Jamal, the middleweight. I like both of them, but they interest me. I like the thought of watching them, and I like watching them. Do you know what I mean? I like what they bring. Whereas Danny Jacobs, I'm very meh. He's just Danny Jacobs, another good fighter. So interesting to see what Eddie does with him.
Well, someone said Rob Cass asked a question. Shout out Rob Cass. He asked, "Would you like to see Danny Jacobs Golovkin rematch?"
Nah.
Do you know what, man? I thought it was a draw. I don't think Golovkin
I don't
won.
think Jacobs will raise his game as well as he did the first time round.
He won't be as scared.
But is Golovkin aging at the right time? Do you know what I mean?
Well, he's always going to age at some point, isn't he? Doesn't have to be.
Yeah, but the punch is the last thing to go, as they're saying, and punch is what he's got.
Yeah. I don't know. If he can come through veins, that is, of course, more to.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Veins?
Veins?
Vanez
Martesorian.
Mortesian.
Sounded like that.
Mortesian.
Yeah,
Sounds a bit like Rich, isn't
Sounded good,
it?
that. I like
that's
that.
a really tough test.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get through that.
No, I don't know. Maybe you'd like to see Jacobs Golovkin too, wouldn't you?
I would. I think Jacobs handled himself very well. I like his coach, Andre Rosier. Coaches Richard Comey and a lot of other boys as well. Saddam Ali. I think he's a fantastic coach. I think the advice he gives in the corner and the way he speaks to these fighters is perfect. And while a lot of coaches in the corner might have the best instructions in the world, they don't really understand their fighter. They don't deliver them in that way where the fighter's going to be receptive.
That means a lot as well.
Rosier talks to these guys and he's like, "Come on, son, we can do this," and he's telling them all these things, and you can tell it's more than just a tactical relationship. It's more like a bond. So I've always liked that. Other than that, I feel like middleweight's going to be held up for a while anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whether it's GGG Canelo that holds it up, whether it's Billy Joe and the WBO Frank Warren thing that holds it up, I don't think there's going to be like a free for all where everybody starts fighting each other, which is a shame.
What about Martin Murray and Saunders?
You know the answer.
We're going to do some questions. There's been quite a few sent in to Craig. People still in shock he's here, I guess. So quite a few questions sent over.
Yeah, there's a couple of questions that we kind of fed through the podcast, and these are a couple of other ones that were sent in. So Travis J, shout out Travis J. Every time, always very into that.
I like him a lot.
Much appreciated.
I like him a lot.
Check out his stuff if you haven't. He's doing bits all the time, radio, comedy, all sorts of stuff. Travis asks if Haye beats Bellew and looks slightly like Haye 1.0, sorry, can he beat AJ? Now, I guess that depends on what is Haye 1.0.
Yeah.
Is it Mormek?
Oh yeah, do you remember?
Is
that
it Valiev?
Version? That version, the Mormek version of David Haye was what drew me in, man. That guy, that was the version, but that was the cruiserweight version. Do you know what I mean? The only heavyweight version we've seen with any possibility could trouble an AJ. Like the thing is, it's too long. I'm struggling to see that he can get through Bellew anyway because of his body. I believe his body breaks down, unfortunately. But could he beat an AJ? There's questions around AJ's chin. Around is he soft around the whiskers? I don't necessarily know if that's true. But AJ and Haye, Haye's very small, isn't he, compared to an AJ?
Yeah, was he 15 and a half, 16 stone?
But
But the Russian weren't big now.
Yeah, listen, but it's different. He was a robot. He was a seven. I'm not saying AJ's not a robot, but this was a 7'2" robot who couldn't move. You know what I mean? He had nothing about him, and Haye boxed him. But I don't think he'd be allowed to do that with Joshua because he'd have them 1 and 2s coming down the
How
pipe
much
every
bigger
time
than
he moved.
Hayes Parker?
Couple stone.
Couple of
Stone
stone,
and a half.
yeah, stone and a half.
Parker came in about 17.
David Haye can't move like Parker. Can he not? But punch harder.
But what happened? To
I'm
Parker?
not saying that. I'm
no,
not saying,
you're
I'm
right.
not,
No,
all I'm
it's worth
saying is
thinking
that.
about.
What I'm saying is, it's not beyond the realms of possibility that David Haye could survive like Parker. But the difference is David Haye can punch harder than Parker.
Yep.
So at some point in David Haye's survival mission for 12 rounds, he might catch AJ's weak around the whiskers.
Yep.
Again, none of this might be true, but it's not beyond the realm of possibility.
Definitely
he can
not.
move. He knows how to move and he can punch. Can he still do it? Is the question. Will he break down halfway through?
It feels really weird talking about AJ after getting beat off Tony Bellew, who I believe was not even world level. My personal opinion of Bellew is he's never been world level.
What, even at cruiserweight?
Even at cruiserweight.
I don't think that's fair.
I do. Got given Makabu. Who else did he beat?
Master Nick. Decent fighter.
Yeah, decent. Like he didn't beat anyone upper echelon at top
but you
table.
but you have to remember the cruiserweight top table now with the super.
Yes,
whatever
that's
you call
true.
it,
It's
super
different
series,
2 years
they
ago.
weren't there.
Yeah.
Those guys they were on the come up. They weren't there, so it wasn't like he avoided them for years. They just weren't there.
Not for years. He just did it for the tournament because he made the money outside it for one fight,
Yeah.
which is it's hard to disagree with.
That's the thing. I think a lot of the stuff with with Tony Bellew is, if Tony Bellew was a fighter that you personally loved and identified with, and then he did what he did, you'd support him, and you'd find a reason to support him. You'd go, well, when he's talking about pedos and that, well, he's got a good point there, actually. But when it's someone that is so easy to not like, or that people naturally don't really take to, everything he says gets picked apart.
Very true.
I
think it's the falseness, you know, just want to go home to my family and stuff, but he forgets the things he said to people in the past, and he used it against Haye, saying that it was disgusting. I sent my family to another country because they didn't have... Do you remember that? Yeah. After the first fight, because the things he said were disgusting, forgetting completely what he said about other people. And when he first initiated it, he said, I'm going to kill you, David Haye, and this, that and the other, but he's like, he's just a hypocrite. He's a massive hypocrite, but that's irrelevant when it comes to his...
What he's doing right now, I don't think he cares if he wins or loses. He's cashing out.
I don't know.
If he wins, he gets another fight. If he loses, he goes, maybe I'll pack it in.
I think he cares. I
don't think he legitimately thinks he'll become a heavyweight world champion.
I think he intensely cares about beating David Haye.
No, I think he cares about beating David Haye, but I don't think he really cares about his career as a heavyweight.
Yeah.
His career as a heavyweight is fully money driven.
Irrelevant. There is no career at heavyweight. He's fighting a guy who is in
They're
between.
Both cruiserweights. They're both overweight cruiserweights.
Yeah.
But that's my point. Like, if you're against Tony Bellew, you don't like Tony Bellew for whatever reason, you go, well, you know, it's money driven and he doesn't even...
Not in a negative way.
I'm not saying you, but I'm saying it's easy to go, well, he doesn't even care, da, da, da. But if you like him, you go, well, why shouldn't he? Because, you know, he's beat David Haye and he's allowed to earn money to get home to his family safe.
Yeah.
And it's easy to play...
What side of the fence you sit on.
It's easy to play both sides, man. I think...
you can't doubt the money he's made. Listen, 2 pay-per-views back-to-back, probably $3 million per fight. Around there or thereabouts, you can't argue with that either way, like whether you like him or not.
If Haye turns up and starches him in 6 rounds?
Oh god, I'll be so.
Does Haye? Would we going back to Travis's question? Would we start to go? Do you know what? He's back, or would we go?
It depends how he does it.
We go. When's the first fight?
Yeah. Oh, don't know. Please don't.
That's what happened. No, you know what?
Oh, you can't.
2020. You heard it here first. February 2020.
Listen, they've got a 12-fight deal between the two of them. I'll get injured.
I just want him to look
out,
good.
Then we'll get a draw.
I don't know if his body can stand up to 12 rounds of a fighter like Bellew. Bellew's a tough man. Like, I know he got abused by Adonis Stevenson. We don't often see him get banged out. Like,
and he was cutting crazy weight then.
He was, but he can always hit the deck. He's always susceptible to going down. But he's a tough man, Bellew. Like
Maccabi as well, hit the deck in the first round. Then.
Yeah.
Got back up and just battled him.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with going down in the first, getting up and winning.
Shut out, Dwayne Grant.
Yeah, I just...
Could he beat AJ though?
He could. Everything Richie said. But I can't...
I'm not saying he does. Listen, AJ can whack.
The reasons you've given are the reasons he could do it.
What I'm saying is it's not beyond the realms of possibility that he could dance around like Joe Parker and catch him if he's still got the power. It's not beyond the realms of possibility. Everyone's going to... I'll probably get ripped for saying that because everyone's going to he's injured. I know he's injured. He's been injured. He's old. He's falling apart. I get all of that. I understand all of that. But Parker just danced around AJ for 12 rounds and survived. Didn't really hit that hard. Got through the fight. David Haye can move like Parker, maybe even better. He's smaller. He's more nimble, except he can punch.
Do you know what I want to see? Just because they've got a common opponent. Haye v Dillian White. Because look at what Haye did to Chisora. Nobody's done that to Chisora.
Nope. Nobody ever.
That's
the most money I ever won on a fight.
Yeah?
Back when I used
to gamble. Do you want to tell us any details?
I put a 1 round 5th round knockout.
Did you? What'd you get?
Was it 16s?
Oh fuck!
That was it, mate. That was but I haven't bet for a long time.
Wow!
And that same weekend, I had Anderson Silva beating Chael Sonnen in a knockout as well.
Fucking hell!
But you don't talk about what you lose as a gambler, so let's move along.
Yes. Yeah. That was Travis J's question.
Yeah.
So
is that Haye Bellew covered now for us? Well, let's give a quick prediction because that's next Saturday.
Next week, mate.
We're not doing a pod next week. You're in Scotland.
I am indeed. If anybody's in Scotland, come and see me. I'll be there.
Around your mum's house, is it?
Oh, don't get.
I just wonder where you're going to be. Just so I'm in Scotland.
don't get close. I'll be at everybody's house.
Prediction.
I'll be at all my ex-girlfriends'
Haye
houses.
Bellew. In one word.
Disappointment.
Another injury.
Disappointment. I don't know if it'll be an injury. I don't know if Tony might not show up the way that everybody's hyping him to. I don't really know. I just feel as though the fight will be a disappointment.
So are you going to give a prediction for the winner, or are you just not going to bother?
You're scared. I feel the same. I'm glad you're prolonging it 'cause I'm trying to make my mind
I'll
up.
still go Bellew. I'll still go Bellew.
You go next.
Hey. Don't ask me to explain why.
Explain why.
Because I'd bet on him in anything.
Yeah.
I was screaming at the telly when he went on the cube and was shit on that. I was like, come on, David, you can do it.
Bellew. Because I couldn't decide.
Breaks my heart to hear those words. Can you imagine 5 years
There's
ago?
2 openings for Fight Talk just come up.
Yeah. But honestly, can you imagine any world 5 years ago where we would have ever said Tony Bellew can beat David Haye? It's just fucking.
Do you know the reason I chose? Do you know the reason why I chose him as well? Because last time he wasn't getting beat up before the injury anyway.
David looked injured from the first bell, in my opinion.
The walkout. I seen a video of the backstage walkout.
The
He's
limp.
like fucking limping.
Limping to the ring, and that's why you've never seen him be that wild before. He says it's because he wanted to hurt Bellew, etc., etc. I believe he was injured, but he took the fight. He walked in, he cashed. You know, he took the paycheck. So
My prediction:
kind of irrelevant.
they have a rematch after the decider.
No,
Oh, I can't get on board with that.
no,
man.
I can't.
Can't get on board with that. Question from Paul Altai. Shout out Paul Altai. Is there any benefit to a 24 fight card, or do you prefer quality over quantity? Rich, you fight on these cards, mate. Not 24 fights, but you fight on small hall cards at the moment. What is your opinion as a fighter, first of all, and then we can talk about as a consumer?
I would much rather, even as a fighter, selling it to other people. Even if I was in a 50-50 as the main event, I would rather see more 50-50s on it and less fights. I'd rather sell to my lot a 10 fight card, 11 fight card with
7
let's say you're not going to get that. I was going to say realistically 1 main event, 2 50-50s, so you've got 3 decent fights and then a few decently matched up and comers if you like. I'd be happy with that. But the truth is, really, most people, unless they're there to watch the whole show, they've gone to see someone. They don't like boxing. My lot probably don't really like too much boxing. They watch a fight before, watch me, maybe watch someone that they've seen on the same show as me before, and then they go home. Quality over quantity, without a doubt. They're going to get bored of shit fights. My missus gets bored of shit fights.
He summed it up perfectly. Yeah. We sit ringside from start to finish.
Do you know what I get? I get to a point when I go to these, and this is bad, especially from a boxer, I get to a point where I'm watching these and I kind of hope for their away corner to win, just for a bit of drama. I'm bored and I just think, someone just land something nice.
Yeah. So, you know, when you think about it, I put one video up from last night's show and it was the away corner knocking out the home corner, so I must feel the same.
I think you do, but I think you do get like that because people love, unless you have a personal interest in whoever's fighting, you love an underdog anyway, right? So you love this fucking guy you know absolutely nothing about coming in and doing the business. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but the only thing I feel when I see a 24 fight card, I go, there's going to be at least 20 fights on this card that are predetermined or are boring points, like
40, 36. You can write the scores down before
that's
the
what
fight
I mean.
starts.
And listen, we know media to do that.
I'd like to see more. Oh, it's not really fair for me to say it. It's really no, I'm not going to say it.
Alright, don't say it. Tell us after we stop recording.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just that when you see like these 4-round fights and they've got someone they know they're going to beat in front of them who's just a punch bag, I'd like to just tee off on them, just swing it out. Just listen. The reason why I weren't going to say it is because no coach are going to advise their boy to do that. They get the rounds in box, practice some stuff, but only as a spectator, I'd say just swing it out. Just
surely you want it, but surely you want to know if you're fighting say you're fighting a journeyman, right?
Put yourself into the trenches.
Surely you want to know you've got it. So you've got that in your locker. Do you know what I mean? So that if it gets there, you can do it. It was alright doing 4 rounds or 6 rounds against the journeyman and just stick to your boxing. Stick to your boxing. Like
when I watched Casey Blair, perfect example. I was boxing him, and every now and then, after a round or so,
even though Alec hated you for it,
he hates it. But listen, when you got to practice stuff, you like having fun. Tuck up in a little ball, invite him in. Tuck up, you hit me, I hit you. We can practice him inside work. Do that. That's entertaining. People want to see that stuff. A fight. Yes, I'm still winning. I'm still winning every round, but I'm not just gonna. I could jab, move, 1-2, move, jab, move, easy. Do that, but that's gonna be fucking boring. I've sold loads of tickets. People want to see a scrap.
Well, let's go back to Georgie Bacon's point when I kind of overheard him. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I just really want to protect that winning record. Does that dictate how guys fight, even against journeymen?
I think he's out. He'll be out of a system now. He'll be out of what I feel like is like a system of fighters that think that matters, that think that matters. Look at someone like ID. Do you think it affects his ticket sales because he lost? People are going to go, oh, he's always in wicked fights. They're still going to watch him. And then when ID gets to 10-1-6 or 10-1-7, and he goes in against a contender who's had 10-0 against 10 journeymen, who are you putting your money on?
Yeah.
ID has boxed. When he was on, he gets to 10, he would have boxed 6 contenders.
Yeah.
Yes, he's lost half and one half, but he's a man who's had real hard fights against real hard opponents, against someone who's 10-0 against plums.
Yeah.
So these records are for DJs. Don't mean nothing. It's beneficial for these to be in hard fights. He might, if he can come back from that, it might toughen him up. I think he folded like in the fight. He was getting it a little bit. He could have tucked up, grabbed hold, maybe took a sensible knee, got back up and swung it out. He took a shot, and at one point he sort of turned sideways, went halfway down, and thought, "Do I go down? Do I not?
Yeah.
Don't go down. Don't go down. Don't go down. Fight back.
Yeah.
Swing it out. If he buzzes you and you're actually stunned, take a knee, look up, get your 8 count, recuperate, and then swing it back out.
Yep.
Do not curl up like a little girl and turn your back to him.
Yeah.
Not acceptable."
There you go. Fair point, mate.
Jeez.
Drops the mic.
Oh my
Boom.
God.
You've missed it since you've ain't been here. Richie's grown.
If you're going to turn your back because you're getting a beating, you shouldn't be a boxer.
That's true. That is true. 2 more questions. One's a really good one. We'll save that one till last. This one's from Sam Can again. Under what circumstances, we kind of glossed over it. Under what circumstances do you see a Wilder Joshua fight actually taking place? Sam O'Reilly.
I'll be honest, I'm bored already. 1 week of public negotiations and I'm bored. Like, I don't...
Talking about a fight that might not even happen.
Yeah, that's how I feel. And it was basically how I felt talking about Tyson Fury for the past 18 months. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So, it's a strange one. What circumstances does the fight happen? Someone swallows their pride and goes, I believe I can win this fight. And you know what? It'll probably have to be Wilder. Although we're not going to like to say it.
Yeah.
I believe... I can't believe... Anthony Joshua is the A side. There's no I believe. No one can tell me Wilder is the A side because he's not. So AJ is the A side. So it's maybe Wilder swallowing his ego and taking a little bit less than he wanted, or a little bit, the venue is in England instead of just something, a little bit of compromise. Swallow your ego a little bit if you truly want this fight to happen.
Yeah.
Because Parker had a little bit of negotiation, and they did a weird little negotiation tactic. Remember, they did the odd little press conference.
Yeah.
But David Higgins didn't ever not go to meetings with Eddie Hearn. They still did it the official way. So just swallow your ego if you really want to fight. I believe it has to happen. In my opinion, it has to happen next, or it won't happen for a long time.
Rich?
I think Wilder, I feel like they might run out of opponents at some point. Obviously there's always someone to fight, but run out of meaningful opponents to where they have to take the fight. I also believe that Wilder will need it before Joshua. Okay. Joshua's got more backing, more popularity. He's got everything that Wilder wants. Wilder's got one thing that Joshua wants. Joshua's got everything else. So when they've both knocked everyone over, Joshua can go, I'll just fight mandatories. While no one listens to you. Everyone's talking about AJ. He's king of the hill. You just sit by the sideline fighting whoever you want in America in your small hall world title shirts, small hall world title fights if you like, and then eventually you're going to want to come to the show, and I think that's kind of what's going to happen. We might go to Vegas, but
do you think it's a Vegas fight?
Just because they're both big heavyweights, I think really for it to happen in Vegas, Wilder needs to get some more popularity in America. We would go there, the British fans would go there, but normally you've got a big American star there, or a big Mexican star, someone who's already established at that side of the world.
Yeah.
So people haven't got to go too far to go. You can't expect to pack out the whole MGM Grand or something with people from England.
Has he even fought? He always fights in Brooklyn.
Or Alabama.
No, if it's not,
America's York Hall.
I mean, if it's not Alabama, it's always the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, or
East Coast.
It's not like he's not a Vegas fighter, really, is he?
No.
So I don't think he's big enough in America for it to be a Vegas fight.
Maybe he'll get there. Maybe Joshua can be farmed over there
the
and have
point.
1 or 2. Yeah, Joshua's still doing the A side. Yeah,
that's the point. So then Joshua go over there, steal the American fans, and go, we're coming to London.
Yeah. What about you? How do you see it happening?
I think it's really interesting, and I think it's interesting when you look at the belts that Joshua has. Is it one of the questions I would ask is it as big a fight if he has to drop a belt? Because it's probably as big a fight to us as British fans, but it's probably not as big a fight to Americans who undisputed heavyweight champ. Americans who struggle to get behind Deontay Wilder now will probably struggle even more if he doesn't become undisputed heavyweight champ. So it'll be interesting to see how the mandatories play out. And Eddie Hearn's been quite open about the fact that if we have to drop a belt, we'll drop a belt. You know, we don't want to do it, but if we have to do it, we'll have to do it. And obviously I know belts are not the be all and end all. Canelo doesn't have to fight for a belt to be a pay-per-view star. All he has to do is inject beef into his system and he's on pay-per-view. But
I think that depends who gets the belt that they leave.
So you mean if AJ had to drop a belt and Fury picked it up,
it's going to make a difference.
It would make a difference.
If he dropped the belt and Sam O'Reilly picks up the belt,
hey,
it's not going to make a difference. You know what I mean? Unless someone from that immediate threat, is Tyson Fury comes back, makes a sensational comeback. He vacates the title to make the fight with Wilder. All of a sudden, half the attention's now back on Fury because he's demolished people. He's a world champion again, and he's in the picture. Without Fury in the picture, that belt doesn't really matter. The fight's still a big deal. Depends on who picks up that other belt.
Fair.
Before we move on to that last question, there was one that came into Richie. It was just to you, Rich. Where do you want to be in 2 years? Hopefully on television with a Fight Talk podcast, is what you told me before. You want to have brought it to a television station. Listen, if fucking Five Spy could televise in Big Narstie, I don't think we're too far behind.
We must be doing something wrong.
What do you reckon, Rich? 2 years time, where do you want to be?
2 years time, still on the Fight Talk podcast. We can be driving the Fight Talk cars with our Fight Talk logo and the Fight Talk tattoos. Hashtag Fight Talk. Boxing wise, Southern area, English. Is it beyond the realms of possibility to think be British in 2 years? I'd like to have a Southern area within the next 6 months. If I'm not there, I need to think about what I'm doing myself. The fact that I'm trying to push for contenders is a step in the right direction now. There's no stumbling blocks to come back for over that time. If anything like that happens, it's not a problem. Within 2 years, I'd like to be in and around English level or beyond. If I'm not English champion or box for it, I'd like to be talking about that circle, if you like.
Can I ask you, Rich, how, in terms of a time period, what sort of delay do you think losing to Dwayne Grant? That's a serious question. How far do you think that set you back time-wise on your projected path?
I don't feel like it set me back. I'll be totally honest. I think it's done me more good than bad. And not through learning, through my career. The way I was after the fight and the interview and stuff. It's, to be honest with you, it's got me a lot. I've got a lot of following from it. I've got a lot of support from it. A lot of backing. People who said it's shown character and.
Well, you were straight out in front of the camera.
Yeah, and that aside, as my boxing career goes, the loss at the time, I think he shocked everyone. I think he shocked everyone. No one realised how good he was. And on BoxRec, I might have gone down. To be honest, I don't care. I think people that watch me fight won't think any less of me for it. And I can still move forward into 50-50s, which is what I want. As long as I don't, if I go back and fight a rebuilding process, it's going to cost me time. I don't feel like I need to. I would go straight into a 50-50 straight away. Al might want me to do a bit of a similar fight to that. Not a rematch, but a similar fight to that, if you like. And then a bigger fight. As long as I do move forward still, it won't affect me. I could still potentially...
You don't want to be back in a 4-rounder boxing.
We would never do 4-rounder. You won't see me in a 4-rounder. That 4-rounder I was done before wasn't our choice. You won't see me in a 4-rounder. It's going to be 6s or 8s or 10s. Al would take an opportunity for me now if it come up, but as long as I move forward like we're going to continue as if it never happened. I don't think it's a step back for me in time.
Would you fight him again? Is that something you're looking at?
We're not looking at it, to be honest. I don't feel like I need to.
They're too friendly now.
I know, fuck's sake.
Texting each other.
No, just coming on a fucking podcast.
He would have the fight. He would have the fight. I'd have the fight. He even said to me after the fight straight away. He said, "I thought you nicked the fight." He said, "I thought you won it." He said, "So if you want a rematch, you deserve it. You can have it." But because I'm not damaged by it. Too many fighters are mentally damaged by these things. I don't feel damaged. I don't feel like I need the rematch. I don't need to prove myself to it. I feel how I felt about the fight. People see what they see. I'm happy to move on. If I need an opponent and I wanted an entertaining fight, I knew I could get him down and he'd have a fight. But other than that, I don't need it.
It's refreshing to hear.
Yeah.
It's in it because it is really refreshing to hear somebody. And from talking to you generally, Rich, you seem to come out with the sort of stuff that I wish all the small hall people will come out with. Do you know what I mean? They don't do it. They have this weird mask on where it's like, well, no, hashtag road to the belt, so hashtag every belt. You've had one fight, motherfucker. Do you know what I mean? Hashtag every belt. But Rich has got this. He's just honest about it, and he kind of takes a step back from the fighter and looks at it and goes, how many real fights have I been in? How did that go? What was the reason for it? How can I learn from it, and how can I build on it? And anybody that's listening who's a fighter, who's a small hall fighter, or otherwise a coach, or you know, you've got a couple of guys who want to move into small hall fighting or journeyman or whatever else, you have to. I think the sport needs more people who have a realistic view of it, because people who really know boxing will really know when you're conning them, will really know when you're selling them tickets to a fight that you're never ever going to lose. They'll know that, and they can see through it, and it's transparent. They'll know when you have 10 fights on the spin and you have not progressed at all. They'll see through it. So I think it's really refreshing to hear Rich talk about that. I've said to you before, mate, as well.
We are coming to the end now. This is a long one, isn't it?
It's good. It's fucking good to be back.
Oh, it is. Do you know what? It is nice to have you here. I have missed you. We've been messaging a lot, sending you loads of weird shit. It is nice to have you back here. You are the knowledgeable one of us as well.
Huh?
He's the knowledgeable one.
No, I'm just the one that's got. I've got an aggressive accent.
Yeah.
People enjoy the aggressive accent.
Even when he's nice about someone,
and you
it
actually
sounds
watch
rude.
boxing as well. That helps.
Yeah, it does help. Yeah.
Not like me.
Rich, I've told you, got to increase that.
You have to start watching
Do
boxing.
you know the bad thing is I listen every week and I go, these people don't even need me anymore. Richie's filled in. No, listen, it's good to be back.
Abusing people.
Abusing people as always. Yeah, let's go last. Well, there's 2 questions now. You got a sneaky little one coming at the end there.
And sneaky. Well, we've just noticed it might have been there.
Let's
for
do
a
the
while.
real one. Let's do the real one first.
All right, we'll do the real one.
So one from Paul Walker, my man Paul Walker. Shout out him.
It's been a long day now to my friend, and I tell you all about it when I see you again.
Drive safe, brother. Drive safe. Paul Walker, my man from Edinburgh. Should lie detector polygraph tests be introduced for boxers who failed a drugs test to establish if they really knew why the substance was in their system, instead of hiding behind feeble excuses? Obviously in reference to the recent developments, Tony Yoka, Canelo, all these guys failing drugs tests. Lie detector polygraph tests. Sam, I mentioned this to you before we started recording. You said they can be faked.
I didn't say it like that. I don't know why you did that.
You literally said to me, they can be faked. Big Narstie told me so.
No, I said
what are you basing that on?
I'm basing it on who's technology. I'll tell you what happened.
Jeremy Kyle.
No, WBC. The WBC will make their own lie detector test, and they'll give it to Canelo first up, so we'll know that it's legit, right?
But they'll decorate it with like fuck.
Yeah, it'll be colourful. It'll be a colourful WBC lie detector test, and the questions will be asked by Canelo's trainer or his mum. It doesn't suit any of the man. Got given a 6-month ban for failing the drug test. He basically misses out on one fight.
But got backdated for 3 months.
Exactly, it's irrelevant.
Back just in time.
They are going to let these motherfuckers do what they want. As long as they move the needle and bring money into it, and the sanctioning fees or whatever, they're going to let these dudes fight.
But his hair sample came back clean.
Exactly, so there was no intention.
Oh, was it?
There was no intention because his hair sample came back.
Back off!
Yeah.
Alright, leave him alone!
Leave his conscience, alright?
Yeah, so yeah, maybe if he did a lie detector test on Jeremy Kyle and proved that he didn't knowingly inject his cow with clenbuterol, then I'd feel a lot better about it. Yeah, definitely.
His cow, like he's got a pet cow that he
He owns a farm.
He owns a farm.
And then cuts a bit off of his cow.
Yeah.
I just want to shed a little bit of breaking news on this. Obviously, Canelo's hair sample did come back negative for any intention. I shouldn't probably be saying this, but that was one of my hairs. They tested one of my hairs, and all they found in it was Stella and sadness. So,
and fair news.
yeah, fair news.
A little
So,
bit of iron, bro.
a little bit. There's always iron brew, but I don't know where you're getting this. I don't know where you're getting this hatred of polygraph. From my knowledge, polygraph tests, lie detector tests, they're pretty reliable. I don't know if I'm wrong.
Yeah, but who's going to do the polygraph
why
thing?
Obviously,
Silliman. Mauricio Silliman would conduct it himself.
obviously not the governing bodies, man. It would
No.
obviously have to be an independent body.
You
Like,
can question the legitimacy of these though, because
Yeah.
why don't they use them in
They're not using court cases.
Why don't you use them in court cases?
I know, but you can question the legitimacy of a paternity test. I've got 17 kids floating about.
All the colours of
and
the
I'm
rainbow.
denying
as well.
every single one of them. But I don't have any kids, seriously. But you...
I love the disclaimer there.
Yeah. Well, that was needed.
I don't have any children, just in case.
But just in case my girlfriend listens, but she won't listen this long.
I don't think anyone will have. We're just talking for the three of us right now.
Just me on the way to work.
Yeah.
But I think it's a decent show. I know they're not 100% accurate, but if someone really fucks it up, right? If you ask a guy 10 questions and the fucking needle goes bing, 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 bing on every single question, you go, oh, maybe there's something to look at here.
It would be a...
You could ask the same question in a different way a few times. What I mean is, if only one flags up wrong, you've got 9 that were kind of the same. You've got like a
consistent,
a bit of consistency, but you'd have to ask the same question in a different sentence.
Yeah, I'm not mad at the idea. Listen, anything different. What I'd rather than let's invest in a polygraph, let's invest in some proper fucking procedures. How about that? How about we sit down and work out what happens when you fail a drug test? Because it's all up in the air at the minute. There's no set rules. There's no set anything. It's kind of a mismatch, and depending on who you are, what the punishment is. I'd rather than invest in a polygraph, I'd rather invest in that.
Yeah, fair enough. That's a fair point. Rich, would you be happy to do a polygraph? Like if someone come and asked you, does that seem like a really weird thing to do as a boxer?
It would be a weird thing to do because it's not done right now, but when they started doing it, I suppose boxers would get the hang of it.
And I guess it's only a weird thing you would object to if you had something to hide, right?
Yeah.
Interesting question though, mate. I've never really thought about that, Paul, so it's a good idea.
See, listen, any idea that is a good idea, isn't it? To investigate it.
Yep.
But can you imagine it? Just actually picture it. Who would be sitting in the room with Canelo? Would it be an independent?
It'd have to be, wouldn't it?
You'd like to think so, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's a WBC sponsored polygraph test.
Well, if it's an MTK fighter, I'd be there probably.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? I'd be
You'd be screenshotting it, papped. OD gets his polygraph test, and great to see Love Island's John in the building.
I'd just be doing little emojis for little ticks when he got stuff right.
Or the injection one when he fails. The little needle. A needle and a cow.
Oh god.
I think that was it. I think that's all the questions, to be honest with you. One of them was just from Martin. The final little thing to touch on. What was the real reason, or is it true that you haven't been on the podcast lately, Craig? As I only emailed you an offer while you were insistent on a contract.
I would have responded to the offer via video message or voice message. Yeah, man, a lot going on this weekend.
A lot's gone on.
What are you doing the rest of the weekend?
I'm gonna go shopping and get some food. I'm working tonight now.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, I'm working tonight, so I'm gonna try and get this out before I go to work.
Nice.
So,
Rich, what's your plans, mate?
I'm going around my mum's house for roast dinner.
Oh, that sounds good.
Nice.
Is she how many spaces at the table she got? Or
Possibly, yeah.
Has she got beer or
There's probably beer. There's probably spare food.
I'm gonna make the 2-hour arduous journey home, but it's been worth every second. Listen, I'm sorry I've not been here. Alright?
We're all happy to have you back.
I'm sorry, Sam.
I accept your apology.
I'm sorry, Richie.
Do you accept?
We'll see. It still needs time.
We'll see the feedback we get.
Yeah,
We'll see if people really missed him or if it was...
Oh, by the way, I put my interview up and I told everyone if it gets over 1,000 shares or 1,000 views, you're giving a t-shirt out to someone that shares it.
We'll definitely do that.
Because you told me yesterday it would only get a certain amount of views.
I said it wouldn't do.
So I offered everyone a free t-shirt.
A Richie Gray t-shirt?
No, a Fight t-shirt.
Alright, if Richie Gray's interview from last night does 1,000 views, I will send out a free t-shirt, yeah?
Done.
Nice.
I've already offered it out, so...
Right, well, I'm just confirming, you've just told me now, so...
It's already a deal.
Sam's finding this out now.
I've got 2 sizes there, so if you're an extra large, you're fucked.
My girlfriend goes away on holiday for a month on Wednesday, so if there's any women that listen to the podcast, come round. Worst case scenario, I'll bill Mickey Haley. I know he's got a couple of things going on, and we can sort something out.
If you are a woman listening to this podcast 2 hours deep on a Sunday or a Monday, get a job.
Gizwood job.
Gizwood.
Yeah.
Contact Richie Gray for a job.
Contact Richie Gray for jobs. That is the book closed.
Woo!
The beer finished.
Well,
I haven't had one yet. I can't. I'm working.
I've got to drive home.
You got to drive home. This has been the Fight Talk podcast. We are out. We shall see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you everyone for listening. Yeah, it's been emotional.
Peace.